What's up, everybody, man? We back in a major way now. I know normally we put this on the Wise Guys channel, but I want to put this on Hoop Jargon because this is a sports topic with my guy since 16 years old. We 39 years old now.
You
so
always say that shit. 15. It was 10th grade, 15.
Oh, sorry, 15. All right. 15. Do the math. so your boy Hoop Jargon, aka Cliff, and
God Junior.
All right, for the regular people of Sammyville. All right. So let's talk about it, man. This has been a topic that has been blowing the internet up, no matter what your favorite avenue is. And I wanted to put this on my main channel because I think this is something that it's a very nuanced, topic, and it's something that needs to be talked about. And I just want to do it the right way to reach the most amount of people with our perspective. And yeah, man. T Dot says, boys, you got that intro. Yeah, man. You know, I'm leveling up. And speaking of the intro, SKC, who's also a channel member, well, I paid a handsome amount to get that done. He says, by the way, I agree with Whitlock. There's a difference between what was done. I get why some people don't see it. With the difference. Okay. And Mo says, just good old double standard. Most media chimed in against Angel. Didn't even know the antics to me is nothing but trash talk amongst players. All right, that's what's up. Shout out to Miak Mike too, man. Miak Mike, the proverbial pushback king in the building.
That's good.
Shout out to Miak Mike. All right, man. So let's go ahead and do it, man. Well, before we get to the content, Sammy, let them know what they need to do.
If you haven't done it already, well, I don't know how to do it on your channel. Same thing. Yeah. So if you haven't done it already, please like, subscribe, comment on both channels. Our channel, The Wise Guys, and he'll link that down below. And then, of course, on Hoop Jargon. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe because we do this for y'all. And if it's no y'all, there's no reason to do it. So we appreciate y'all.
Yeah, and thank you for reminding me. So I'm texting right now the Wise Guys channel. That is us in the chat right there. So subscribe to us where we talk just more about just everyday issues and things of that nature. So if you guys are for the cats, Manosphere Cats, you know what time it is. Unite. So I'm at over there. All right. So and thank you, SKC, for being a member for 1 month. YouTube has let me know that you're in walk-on status. And thank you so much for being a member of the channel, sir.
That's
all right,
dope.
let's get it. All right. So let me get the comment in before we go. Drama aside, these two are the future. The WNBA can change. I don't disagree with that. And you know what? Let's go ahead and start there. So again, for new people, go hit the like button. I like this situation for what the WNBA, for what the WNBA can benefit from. Because so let's walk this situation down real slow. Let's walk it down properly. Hard question. I'm gonna pose it to you. Is the WNBA not better? Well, is the women's basketball stead not better than it was 3 days ago?
Absolutely.
Why?
Absolutely. All publicity is good publicity. That's why.
There you go. Okay, cool. And shout out to Lamont says these two cannot change the WNBA. I mean, maybe. I mean, people know about Magic and Bird before they did it. Now, listen, I'm gonna just keep it all the way true. I'm not a big WNBA guy. I never have. Well, no, that's not true. Since the Comets left, my interest has waned. I just think the WNBA is just a worse version of men's basketball in a lot of capacities. And I've talked to college coaches who coach in the women's sector who mirror what I say, but it doesn't matter what I think. It's a matter about what reality is. And so I just want to let these two worlds collide and just have an honest dialogue. And I might open the panel early if you want to talk to me and Sammy so we can let you guys know. I mean, so we can just have a discourse. So I may go ahead and do that, which is kind of breaking precedence. But yeah, I just wanted to touch that. And shout out to Jeannie Alley. Good to see you. My question is, did Caitlin have a response to Angel prior to the media in their response? I didn't see one. Did you see one, Sammy?
No.
All right, there's your answer. I didn't see one.
I haven't. She didn't even have a response while she was doing it in real time. Like she didn't even respond to what she was doing in real time. So, but we'll get into all that.
Yeah, we'll get into it, man. Again, when we got a good show lined up for you, man. So like button, please destroy that bad boy, like it did something bad to you. So we can go ahead and get more bodies in here. But so let's just start here. So we asked about, is it good for the WNBA / women's basketball? We said yes. Okay. Now let's get down to the minutia. Let's get down to the nitty gritty.
Mm-hmm.
From your evaluation, what do you take from what you saw of the opposite of that? Because you're, to preface, Sammy's a dude with a boy who's going through the right now, what, ninth grade, little Sammy in?
Seventh grade.
Seventh grade.
But Journey is in 8th grade and she played basketball, girls basketball.
There you go. So you have kids invested in this spectrum. So
right.
Ultimately, as a dad who has kids playing youth sports, how do you see it?
So as a dad, as a coach, as a trainer, as a human being, I just don't like the action. And people, I see people and how they feel, and they talking about, well, it's not classless, it's not this. But if it's not, then what is it? Because it was excessive and unnecessary. And if you can't agree there, then I don't even know where to start the conversation with you, because people showed that one clip, and we ain't showed it yet, but they showed that one clip with her following her to the sideline. But I watched that game. I watched it in real time. And the first time I said something about it, it was to Lil Sammy. And I told him, I was like, oh man, I can't even like her no more. I can't like her that much anymore, because I was rooting for LSU, still was, and I'm happy they won. But she was at the free throw line and she was doing that to her and looking at her like, and the girl just looking straight, and she doing all that, because she know they pretty much won the game at that time. And then she did it again after that. Like, she did it multiple times. And at that point, it became bullying to me. And I just think at any point that bullying is weak, so trash talk and bullying is two different things. And I'll just answer your question with that. I don't agree with it. I don't like it. If it was my son, if it was my daughter, if it was one of my kids that I coach, I'm yanking their ass out, and then we gonna have a real stiff discussion about it. So I just don't appreciate behavior like that, because it speaks more to your character than your game. And this shit is supposed to be about the game. And I know that, your character kind of shapes, who you are to the game, but ain't no place. I mean, you got your people like antagonists like Dennis Rodman, who else? Ben Wallace, people like that. But nobody likes them. Nobody likes them. So if you want to be that person, understand that you're that person. But don't try to sugarcoat that shit like, oh, it's cool because old girl did that too. And anyway, now I don't want to get too far. I answer your question with that. I don't like the shit.
Okay. All right. So here's the reality of everything. And I like so I like Mo, and I'm not gonna lie, Mo, I don't agree with your takes, but I appreciate your comments. I do. So I'm not that guy, man. I'm not this sensitive dude because you go against of what I think that I'm just like, oh man, fuck your opinion. I'm not that guy. So this is another compared to Draymond Green. All right, I'll meet you there. And I saw earlier you said that the good old double standard. I'm glad you said that. So let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, so from what I've observed, Caitlin Clark did the you can't see me joint, right? To the bench of her own teammates. Is that accurate?
That's what I saw.
Okay. So Miss Angel Reese, double down on that and let me start doing things to your face. And listen.
Wait, mention. I'm sorry to interrupt, but mention that wasn't in the LSU game. That was in a totally different game that had nothing to do with LSU.
Okay. A different game beside LSU. Okay. Mm-hmm. So what I did observe was that, Miss Angel Reese went and decided to do what she did, doing the can't see me in her face, obviously trying to antagonize her, obviously doing the ring situation, trying to antagonize her. So all I'm saying is this. If you juxtapose that with the men's sector of the world, bro, hold on. I got a song for that action. I got you. Hold on.
Is it nuck if you buck?
That's exactly the song I had in mind, sir. Damn. Boy, like to quote the game, shout out to the game, the rapper, man. You caught that like a Greg Maddux fastball right there. So if from my lived experience, if you do things of that sort, this is what happens.
Yep.
You know what time it is.
Mm-hmm.
You know what time it is. Lil J on the track after that happens. So, as a former coach, as a former player, we'll unpack some of my personal stories of me being a former coach and a former player. And I'll talk about just from perspective what I've seen just in real time. There's no way you condone that. And I really question how Kim Mulkey let that shit ride. And you know it was funny, man. One of my best friends, man. I'll leave her name out of this.
Mm-hmm.
Coach under Kim Mulkey.
Mm-hmm.
I got some shit on her if I'm a rock. But I ain't gonna do that though. So I wonder Kim Mulkey's motives with shit in certain capacities. Because like, what are you really promoting besides just winning basketball? Which Kim Mulkey to me is on Mount Rushmore of women's basketball coaches out there with Pat Summitt, with Gino from UConn and shit. Don Staley about to be up there, like it or not. What she's doing in South Carolina is impressive.
Mm-hmm.
So, but Kim is up there as well. I just wonder though, what are your true motives? I'm gonna go and say it, and this ain't nothing to do with the person who I know. I seen Kim Mulkey rock a wedding ring because she coached at Baylor, right? Mm-hmm. Knowing you in a divorce situation, which in the Christian world, a divorce is like a carnal sin that you don't. So Baylor is the same university. I'm gonna go there. Let's do it. Brittany Griner couldn't come out to be who she was because of you playing at a Christian institution at Baylor. Man, hold up. So I know what's working with. So I know Kim be moving a little sneakily rather. So I wonder what her motives are, where she is in life right now. I do. And if she's on the stream, I would ask her the same question. But at any rate, salute to LSU. Salute to them get a national championship because that is very hard to do. So I don't want to come off as a hater because I'm not.
Right.
We're going to get to the minutia that is the situation between, Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. Let's do it. What you got?
Speaking to Kim Mulkey, I think it's interesting that she referenced that she takes the personalities that people generally don't, and she welcomes those personalities. She welcomes them into her program because I guess she can manage them per se and turn it into a winning program, which she's proven to do so. But I think what gets lost in that is it becomes just about basketball. You're not developing great people because you don't care about that. I think it just boils down to you winning these games, which is her job. But I think as a coach,
it's her job.
yeah, and she does a great job at that. You can't take it away. But as a coach, you developing these people to be great people, and we talk about it all the time, how sports give you so many life lessons that, and that you learn life lessons through sports, and it's character development through that shit. So at every turn, you're supposed to correct shit. Every little thing you see, you're supposed to correct it. That way they know how to overcome adversity and objectives, later in life or whenever they start to deal with it because they've been through it already. They've seen it before. But if you allow that, you allow her to do that and antagonize that girl, which is a great player, and still drop 30 on y'all quietly and didn't say shit to y'all. You know what I'm saying? You allow that, then what is that saying about you and how you care about your kids? It's like, either you saying that shit is cool, and to me that says like you the parent at the park watching your kid beat up on other kids and you ain't doing shit about it. That's gonna get your ass whooped because your kid beat up my kid and my kid and I feel a certain type of way about it, and I'm seeing you watching it. I'm not going at the kid, I'm going at you. You see what I'm saying? So I think that she has a lot of responsibility in that because she watched it. She watched it. She didn't say shit about it. She watched it, so that means that that's probably on par with what her true character is, if you ask me. Or at the very least, it's okay with her. And that, again, that shit is just not okay. It shows weak character. It shows that you're somebody that you don't even have to win gracefully. You just don't have to be a dick about it. You see what I'm saying?
I'm with that. Because all right, let me say this real quick.
Go ahead.
There's a healthy balance between winning gracefully, quote unquote, and just understanding the culture of what winning to the victor get the spoils is. So I'm not against Angel popping her shit because she about to win a championship over a woman who is better than her. I mean, y'all gotta know this. Caitlin Clark is better than her. I'm not against her. Just like, yeah, I got you right now. I'm cool with that. I really am.
Me too.
I'm 100% good with that. But what are the ramifications of what you're doing long term? And most people, they struggle with not seeing the long term effect of it. Or, and we talked about this off camera. If LSU was playing against Southern University, shout out to Baton Rouge, she wouldn't pop off like that to another Southern girl. You know why? Because the Southern girl probably put them paws on her. Right?
Exactly.
Because there's a certain level of respect or disrespect that's tolerated in that space. So I just find it funny that some people are so open to just let that shit ride. And again, it's not about this. It's not. Because here's my reference point. The Kembe Mutombo. Remember how this was like his hallmark forever.
No. Yeah.
No. He could do it in people's faces. Was that issue? But it was, but till it wasn't. What did the NBA initially, eventually say to do about that the finger wag?
Right, he couldn't do it in people's face anymore. He had to do it to
the crowd.
Yeah,
and we saw him demonstratively do it as a Houston Rocket to the crowd. So he blocked somebody's shot to the crowd. He do it right because it does not incense the same emotionality or reactionality, right? So if we're talking about people who saying, okay, Caitlin did the same gesture, there's a precedence already of like, okay, the same gesture, but in a different application is perceived differently. Now, did the fight happen after Miss Reese did what she did? No. But again, if I'm giving if I'm keeping the stack, you do that in the men's realm, that's a fight. And I diametrically am opposed to promoting that type of action because it's unnecessary. And somebody pointed this out, and I'm gonna say this now. I didn't watch the game. You did. Okay. Somebody said that she started doing it when the game was decided. Now, if you're doing it like bucket number 2, yeah, what's up with it? I ain't gonna lie, I ain't got no problem with the shit.
Because you still gotta prove it. Yeah, you gotta prove it. Yeah.
But when you're doing it when the game's decided, nah, homie.
Yeah, that shit weak. It's weak.
I ain't rocking with that. I'm sorry if I'm losing some of y'all. I ain't rocking with that. So let's call it what it is. Go ahead.
Yeah, like Michael Jordan said, like it's easy to talk when you're up at the end of the game, 7-8 points. Talk that shit when it's 0-0. You see what I'm saying? He said that in that
0-0 is tough.
Yeah. Yeah. So that I can respect that. It's like, hey, this is what I'm gonna do and you gonna see. And then you just let them see. But after you won, you won, you up 15, 16 goals, points, then that shit is it. And then you can do it. Like, that's fine. You could do it. But to follow her and doing it, and you know what I'm saying, like making sure that you trying to make sure she sees you and you trying to rub it in like that shit is just, it's excessive and it's weak, and then it becomes bullying at that point. And I think that it's just not a place for that in the game, because again, if she did that to somebody that she knew would react to it, she wouldn't have did it, because she knows on that stage not to get in a fight like that. But she knew who she was dealing with. She knew that Caitlin Clark wasn't gonna turn around and be like, bitch, what? She knew that. You see what I'm saying? But let her do that, like you said, to somebody at Southern, somebody at PV or something like that. They ain't got nothing to lose. They at the game and they not supposed to be there. They already know that they lucky to get there.
You gonna get what you're looking for.
Exactly. You're gonna get everything you're asking for. And she wouldn't want to go that route because she knows what that does. And so it was very calculated. And I think that because that's what makes it weak, you know. And she said in the press conference, she was like, it was bullshit. She talking about she's taking up for a teammate. For what? The girl didn't do nothing to her teammate. And then she talking about I just was in my moment. Okay, that's cool. And like I told you offline, I don't have a problem with a 20-year-old, a 19, 21, whatever, however old she is. I don't have a problem with her making a mistake, doing that and being in the moment. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just what kids do. I got a problem with people acting like that shit is okay. People that's our age, 39, 40 years old, acting like that shit is okay, because that's the problem with our community. And that's the problem that I have. You know, that's just my overall problem with it. Like, y'all are saying that this is okay. She's okay to act this way because of something that's totally different. Same gesture in part, same gesture, but it's not apples to apples. And y'all acting like it's apples to apples. And that shit it's so frustrating to see. It's so frustrating to see. You know how many times I saw on my timeline yesterday, it's cool when they do it. It's a problem when I do it. Yeah. Y'all know the rest. Bruh.
Okay. So I know you're about to cook. So I want the pushback. Okay, yeah. So FYF Lamont is in saying Cap Angel's doing it all year, Maryland. Okay, so if you could present the case that she did that to players' faces, I will totally acknowledge this. I'm gonna drop the link for you. If you want to come up and give real evidence that happened, Lamont and Lamont only, come up here and let us know. And if so, listen, and you can provide evidence for it, aka receipts. Cool, no problem. If you say it in a roundabout fashion, I ain't, you know, it's gonna be a long day for you. But at any rate, go ahead. The link's for you, Lamont. All right, Lamont's coming up. And with that being said, what's up?
Yeah, what up, dude, man?
What's there, bro?
What's up? Man, I think y'all being a little harsh on Angel, bro.
Okay, go ahead.
Because this been her MO since she was in Maryland. Like, there was a clip last year in the Big Ten where she got up in a girl face. Like, you ain't really like that. Just really, like, this has been part of her makeup as far as just some of the things that made her good. Maybe she don't have all the talent, but I think it's been her, like, bravado that's helped her to get to where she's at now. She can't stop doing that. And then when we talk about women's basketball, we talking about women's basketball right now because of what she's doing on the court. Not necessarily, we not even talking about all the double-doubles, right? She just broke a record for having the most double-doubles, right? We're not talking about that. We talking about, like, so these are the things.
Hold on, real quick. But we ain't talking about Caitlin setting from a again, I don't watch college basketball like that, in the women's sector like that. But when I saw the talking points, Caitlin has set like a record of everything too. And that's not really a discussion point either. So let's level set the conversation properly. But go ahead, Lamont.
No, what I'm saying is it's always been this type of talent in women's basketball that we don't talk about the talent. The thing that drive viewership and the thing that's going to bring men to the sport to get them more money, if it's going to carry into the WNBA, is these types of talking points, the beefs, the rivalries, the players going at each other. This is why we don't watch the WNBA now, because they trying to keep it strictly basketball and it's boring, right? And nobody's watching. So in the NBA right now, what's driving viewership?
Okay,
the side storylines and all this other. It's not the pure basketball that drives the storylines. It's all the other talking points that gets the men going, the debates, all this other stuff, and that's what brings us into the fold. Now, that's why we talking about it. That's why I gotta like it.
So okay, real quick, Lamont. Yes, what you're saying, the omission factor is true, but also the WNBA they promote the LGBTQ, and all the other things after that. That's at the forefront. And that just turns a lot of people off. So it's also that too. But go ahead.
Yeah, no. I've talked about that. I did a whole video on how them promote, because this is what's going to happen next. This is why I say they're not going to change the WNBA. Because as soon as Caitlin Clark gets to the WNBA, the first thing that they're going to do is they're going to start talking about her relationship with her girlfriend. Even though we even though college basketball didn't even talk about her girlfriend. But as soon as she gets to the WNBA, what's going to happen is WNBA is going to start talking about, oh, your relationship with your girlfriend. And they're going to start promoting that side of it. They going to completely dismiss the rivalry aspect that they could build off of with Angel. They're not going to do it. So I don't believe the WNBA is going to capitalize off this. But the women's college basketball is better off right now because of what Angel has been doing all year. And her bravado. Say what you want about Kim Mulkey. I think she's more than just a basketball coach. You don't win a championship at the college level if you ain't connecting and building with your players behind the scenes. You don't just coach talent and win. It takes more than just coaching talent. You got to have some type of camaraderie. You got to have a connection with your players. If you look at how those LSU players relate to her and how they all seem like they get behind her and they rally behind her and they all happy for her, and they talk about how she lets them be themselves, and it's a relationship there. That's where she's helping them women grow up to be more than just basketball players.
Okay. Well, hold on, but
you can't just win a championship on accident because you coach good.
I'm gonna give you a little pushback. I would argue that she's on that Steve Kerr shit, where you let people be quote unquote woke, right? And you let them be what they want to be, but ultimately, you got the best staff under you. I know Kim Mulkey actively recruits the best people to be under her, and I think it's a skill. I do. So, and this kind of goes with the Deion Sanders thing with Coach Prime. Oh, well, he ain't no football coach. But if you put the best people around you and you use your profile at the best, that's still good coaching. So I want to level set the conversation with there for the listeners, because it's important to know what all encompasses what a good coach is at the collegiate level, especially. So I do want to inject that, but go ahead, Lamont, and then I'll let Sammy.
I think I liked it. Like, I like to see, like, as far as on the basketball court, I like to see players going at each other to that degree, as long as they're not fist fighting and doing all this other stuff. Because in women's basketball this year, it was a ton of actual fights on the court. If y'all been following it was a ton of. If you just saw the layup line in one of those games in this NCAA tournament, old girl snuck some girl. Now she getting investigated by the police. Those are the things I don't want to see. Those are the problems when it comes to fisticuffs. I don't want that in the game. But if you just going at a player and you just kind of mocking them based on something they did that game, those are the types of rivalries that can potentially carry on to the WNBA, similar to the Larry and Magic. I just fear that the WNBA ain't gonna capitalize on it, and they're gonna ruin this opportunity to blow their sport up, just like they ruined it with all the other women that came into the game. That could have potentially changed the WNBA. And they kicked them to the wayside, or they kicked them out the league. And I think this is going to be another missed opportunity. But I love it, man. I love what Angel Reese was doing. You got to play with some type of bravado. There's no such thing as winning with no certain. Bro, when we win, we winning. When we win, we're going to celebrate. We're going to show you that we won, and you got to come back and beat us again if you really want to get your get back. Maybe stay at Iowa another year and come back and try to get us next year or something. But and, as long as it's not going to blows, anything like that, make it entertaining, make it fun. And there's still a way you can teach your kids. If you got kids, or if you got players, it's still a way you can win with dignity, and you can still, have that type of persona. I think they won with class. Just that one little incident didn't take away from it with me. I think they still won with class.
I vehemently disagree with that.
I think they did. They just did it. Like I said, you can't. I don't care how much people want to diminish what Caitlin did. You can't do the things she was doing on the basketball court, especially what she was doing in South Carolina, waving the girl off when she was at the three-point line like she was nothing, using the little hand gesture in her face. And she's been doing stuff like this all year.
I would say that's classless too.
But I know. But the thing is, we wasn't hearing nobody say that until Angel Reese did it.
Because nobody give a shit about the Final Four game. They care about the national championship.
No, nobody don't really care about Caitlin.
Okay, I'll meet you there. So
because when Caitlin's been doing this all year. Let's not act like this. She just decided to wait.
No, okay.
She's been doing this all year in the Big Ten.
No. When you're doing it, chasing the player down, and you're doing that, it exacerbates the situation. And before I do that, hold on. I gotta be a YouTube train. So guys, we have a contribution goal. If y'all like the conversation, because again, I like the pushback, man. I'm not a dude I'm not vexed at all that Lamont has a a different perspective than me and Sammy. That's fine. If you like what's going on, if you like the conversation, we got the goal is for 5 contributions, $2, $1 does not matter. Let me go ahead and be YouTube trained in that capacity. I see y'all in the comments going hard, and I appreciate y'all. I'll highlight them as I can. But I want to say again to your statement, bro. You coach college players, right?
Yeah.
Doing the intramural circuit, right?
Yeah, club. Yeah.
Right. So I used to coach AAU. I coach college ball. And one of the biggest things is like you don't show up your opponent, you don't talk back to the refs, and things of that nature. Is that pretty universal,
Bro? I'm not a believer in not showing up your opponent because, and I'm gonna give you an example. Last year,
go ahead.
Last year we was playing Denver University, in the semifinals. Score 100-40. We destroying them, and this is what happens. Normally you're supposed to hold the ball, like you said, hold the ball at the end of the game, let the clock. These fools is running around, even though they down 60. They trying to steal the ball from our players, doing all this extra stuff. So you know what I told my guys 3 minutes left? I said, y'all keep playing. We put on the dunk show for the last 2.5 minutes of the game. Coaches ended up calling over to the school. They disrespectful. But I'm just saying, it go both ways. Like, I'm calling my dogs off if you call yours off. But you can't have you can't.
I respect
you know what I'm saying? So it's certain levels to it. Like it gotta be two-sided if it's gonna be like that. Like if we gonna gracefully bow out, y'all gotta gracefully bow out too. And so I think
okay. So here's my question. In the context of the game, who did that for that to be the reaction?
In the context of that championship game,
yes.
And within that game, I didn't see they didn't do anything, but actions leading up to it. I mean, like I said, she set the tone. She went out and did it.
Not that game though, Lamont.
Not that game, but at the end of the day, like that's why I say there's really no rules to it, because you can do something in another game and piss another team off if there's a connection there. Like we can say South Carolina's not connected to them, but they're in the same conference. Them girls might know girls on that South Carolina team. I don't know. That's what Angel said. But at the end of the day, your actions are always gonna get some type of equal reaction. It might not be in that moment, but Caitlin's equal reaction happened to come in the championship game. And she had to eat crow. She had to sit there and not say nothing. She couldn't say nothing.
I'm good. Okay, so I'm good with her getting punished and then have to eat that L. I'm good with that, man. That's what sports is comprised of.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying the over celebration and the following, because again, in the men's sector, you doing shit like that, that's gonna get pause playing. But before we go there, I want Sammy to go, but I also want to acknowledge my boy E Black putting 2 on it. Says put my swag on, so I got you, man. So without further ado, Coach Prime, step in there.
Who is swag, baby?
Who is swag, man? Appreciate that. I know Coach Prime is no longer swag, but you know it's always an awesome
soundbite. Yeah,
it just is a soundbite. So Lamont, before I let you go again, Sammy, I know you haven't talked in a minute. I want you to hop back into the discussion. So from what he kind of injected, what's your take?
So I was listening, and a lot of things he said it kind of leads to what I was saying earlier about like Kim Mulkey. You saying that she has to have a relationship with these players, and she allows them to be themselves. And I think that that's okay, because you want people to be themselves, but in a leadership role, you also have to lead them. And she's not leading them to be better selves. I think that they relate because, like I said earlier, she's a lot like them, and that's what they relate to, and what like Cliff was talking about earlier, like she got some shit on her jacket, but that don't need. It's a reason why she not at Baylor no more, and she got a chip on her shoulder.
Reason why she's not at Baylor no more.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Right. So she has that chip on her shoulder, and she got some kids that got chips on their shoulder, and they all rallied together and they did what they needed to do to win a championship, and that's great. But when it comes to Like you talking about at the end of the game, you say 2-3 minutes to go, they still fighting and playing and trying to get steals, and you up 60. Like, okay, if they ain't gonna quit playing, you don't quit playing. That's cool. But Caitlin Clark, like you said, you admitted she didn't do anything that game. So that's akin to Steph seeing Russell Westbrook carry fucking somebody else Trey Young, and then he coming back and retaliating for it. Like, what did that have to do with him? You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't like that he did it to somebody else? Are you really that mad, or are you trying to justify your bullshit? And I just got to call bullshit like it is. She just trying to justify that bullshit. She had no reason to do that other than she wanted to do it. She wanted to put on a show, and that's fine. But don't try to mask that shit with anything else than what it actually is. Just say what it is. And what it was she wanted to do what she wanted to do. She was in her moment, and her moment was defined with what she did. And it just happened to be bullshit. And that's okay. But let's not call bullshit anything else than what it is, because then that's when it becomes a problem. I don't have a problem with Angel Reese. I'm glad they won. I'm happy for her. That's a young lady that has a trajectory going up. I'm happy about that. What I don't like is us trying to justify that shit with anything else than what the facts are. Like Caitlin Clark, whatever she did, I seen people say she shoulder checked somebody at Nebraska early in the year. She waved off the girl that couldn't shoot because she can't shoot. Like, I mean, that's disrespectful too, but again, if you can't shoot, I'm not, and you say I'm not running out there, I'm not running out there. But she did want to demonstrate that, which I would say, like Cliff said, it was classless too. You do that, and my face is like, oh, I'm gonna come back at you. Or I'm gonna at least show you that I can shoot, or I'm going at your head since you did that to me. But that's a one-on-one thing. I think what Angel Reese did is like, they've been talking about you all year. You're supposed to be the best player, and this is not what she's saying. But I think this is why she did it, is because who Caitlin Clark is and who she's been all year, she wanted to show that, hey, we the champions, and they are. But to go about it in that fashion was just extra and unnecessary. And for people to make it seem like it was anything less than that is what my problem is with the situation. And I don't know what it's going to do for the WNBA. I don't think people are going to start tuning into the WNBA anymore, because every year college players have great players. We see them do well in college, and then they go to the WNBA. I don't know who the hell they play for. I used to be in love with that girl from Notre Dame, and I don't know who the hell she played for. Hell yeah. I used to love her. And I don't know who the hell she played for now. And I wouldn't go to a game if I got free tickets. I mean, if I was taking my daughter, I would go to a game. But it's just not like that. And y'all know why it's not like that. And that's cool. But this does have a place for right now. Next week, that shit won't be news. I told Cliff yesterday, like, let's hurry up and do the video, because that shit ain't gonna be nothing next week. And women's sports will go back to what it is, which is right now it's great, but it'll go back, it'll level back out, and then we'll wait for the next drama. And do we really want to surround ourselves with, like, we want to engage in a sport because of drama? We don't watch the NBA because of drama. We don't watch the NBA because of the Grizzlies don't like the Warriors. Like, yeah, that's entertaining. Yeah, I know, right? But it's entertaining.
A little bit though, but come on.
Dylan Brooks and Draymond Green. Yes, I am watching for that. I'm trying to see.
I'm not though, bro. It's like I'm watching for the good teams play against the good teams, bro.
Yeah.
Speaking.
That's what it is. We trying to see who's the best, and that's what they out there trying to prove. I don't really see a lot of trash talking outside of your Draymond Greens or your Dylan Brooks and people like that. It's very few amongst the many. They out there hooping, you know what I'm saying? And we respect that shit, because we know what level that you got to be at to be there and perform at that high level. Like, we respect that. And to make the women's sport something that has to be entertaining, they might as well put booty shorts on too then. You know what I'm saying? So it'd be more entertaining. And we will watch it. Hey.
Well, I mean, good idea. I mean,
But y'all got it.
What you got, Lamont?
But look, here's the thing with this. This is my angle. I've been watching Angel Reese all year. I had even reached out to her at the beginning of the year. I was interacting with her on Facebook before she really blew up, trying to get her on the podcast. She been like this the whole year. So it's for me, when she blocked her, when her shoe came off in the middle of the game and she swatted old girl, shot at a bound, and then stood over and taunted her, nobody said nothing. Right? When she scored the N1 layup in the conference tournament, and then got up and did the little viral dance on the girl, another black girl, nobody said nothing. I think the weird thing with me is why all of a sudden when Angel Reese has been taunting people all year, been using this bravado all year on people, standing over players, all of a sudden when she do it to the white girl, everybody up in arms talking about you need to do things the right way. She been like this all year and nobody said nothing until now.
I got you. I'm gonna interject real quick because nobody gives a shit about women's basketball like that.
I didn't see it.
When it's on the highest level, when eyes are on it, then you start to evaluate. So what you're saying is not incorrect. Like I said with Caitlin, if you say some film on her when she was being out of pocket, I'm gonna call you out. You out of pocket because I'm a coach first, so I'm gonna look at it from a standpoint that my player is acting out of pocket. So right, but nobody watches women's LSU basketball like that. So just so happens on the grand stage, we can see it like, oh no, we don't like that, or I do like that per se. So that would be my response to that.
Is it wrong for us to come in on the tail end without really knowing the backstory and not knowing who these players actually are? We just watch a game for the first time, see her do it, and we say, "Oh, she wrong for that." Yes. Is that what we're supposed to? We don't understand the players. We don't understand the dynamics of what's going on, what's making us even watch this game, and we, so we just watch and say, "Oh, you're not supposed to do that."
Yes. Yeah, let me answer that. So again, I liken that to bullying. If we understand what bullying is, we know that hurt people. But in the moment, we don't give a shit about that. We just know that he's hurting somebody else, and that's what we care about. But if you dive into it, you know that this person has to be hurt to hurt other people. You see what I'm saying? Like you can go back and see what kind of trauma he's dealing with or she's dealing with to be able to perform like this, to be this way. But it doesn't matter when you actually being that way. What we evaluate is what's happening right now. And what's happening right now is all we can go on. So I can't say, well, damn, maybe she is a really good person, but this was just one of those times. It's just like, no, this is what I know about it. This is what I see from it. And this is what I'm a rater on. You know what I'm saying? Like we can go do research and be like, oh, she's been like that all year. But does that mean that doesn't make it wrong? You see what I'm saying? Like, no, that just affirms that, confirms that this is who she is, which is still not right. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's just who she is, and we can accept her for who she is, but that doesn't make it right because that's who she's been. You see what I'm saying? But when you're talking about people coming in and assessing what they see, that's just how the world works. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I come out and I've been scoring 50 my whole life, and I have a game and everybody's there now, and nobody's seen me scoring 50 like that my whole life, I come out and I get 0. They're gonna be like, damn, he trash. But I heard he was good though. But nah, I seen him. He was trash. He ain't score shit. That's what you're gonna evaluate me on. You're not gonna evaluate on what you heard or what it's been, because you don't know that. You see what I'm saying? Like, you're gonna evaluate me on what happened and what you viewed and what you was able to see for yourself. And I think that's what everybody's doing, and rightfully so, because that's just how shit goes. And we can't really take people for their past. We take them for now. You could be great until right now. You can go outside. You've been great your whole life. Go outside and shoot somebody in the head. Now you're a murderer. And that's what we got to evaluate you on. You see what I'm saying? So that's just how shit works. And we can't get around that. And I guess that's what people trying to do. And they conflate arguments to try to make it make sense, but it don't make sense. We just take it for a one-off situation. That one-off situation was not her best. She wasn't at her best, and that's okay. But it's not okay to make it seem like it's okay or to try to justify that shit. And I think that's what a lot of our people are doing, and which is why we're making this video.
So we in the college. Let's say hoop jargon in a college game.
Yeah, hold on 1 second. I'm gonna let Lamont.
Oh yeah, my bad.
And then I'm gonna let Tony D. I'm gonna let you drop in, bro. Shout out to Tony D, hoop jargon member on the Facebook side. So go ahead, Lamont, and then I'll let Tony G.
I'm saying even on the men's side, we are cool with taunting to a certain level. We are cool with this type of bravado. Like, somebody get dunked on, homie stand over top of them. We see when people make the 3-point shots, they do the little bow and arrow point right in their face, right at them. Right. We see taunting. So it's just basically like, okay, we picking and choosing what type of taunting we cool with. Because there's some coaches that.
Hold on. Let me interject real quick. Say you dunk on me, I'm on the ground, and you stand over me. What you think I'm gonna do?
The same thing everybody else to do when they get dunked on.
Draymond Green did punch LeBron in the dick.
Exactly. It's gonna be static. You know that. You know what I'm saying? We do it, but you know what comes with that shit.
No. How many times do we see that guy on the ground get up swinging? It's very rare. Maybe once every blue moon. When in a real game, you talking about D1 basketball, dudes get dunked on, they stay on the ground looking crazy. They don't get up swinging, making it worse, because it's gonna make the highlight worse if you start reacting crazy. Like, no. So I ain't seen that. I see taunting every game to a certain degree, and it's just odd how this type of taunting is crossing the line, because it happens every NBA game. We seen in the in college, women's college basketball more now. It's definitely in men's college basketball. So it's just like, what's the level of taunting that we cool with then? If that was too much,
I'll tell you. So, like Meek Mill say, it's levels to this issue. And Tony D, I'm gonna let you go, Rob. Listen, man. Can you say in that short space, is that too much? Yeah, because we seen Scottie Pippen dunk on Ewan, and then Ewan do the little push off thing, right? Yeah, okay, that could be excessive.
And that's one of the greatest plays in NBA history because of Scottie Pippen pushing him down, being disrespectful.
Right, but what you don't see is somebody chasing you down the court, and for the most part, vehemently, redoing their taunt to your face. You don't see a lot of that in men's basketball because there's an issue after that, bro. In handshakes, and classically, we talking about Prairie View, Jackson State. We talking about Michigan and Wisconsin recently.
Yep,
bro. When you act out of pocket, it's fisticuffs after that, right? So I'm not gonna sit here and pretend that what she doing was okay just because Caitlin's a shit talker, which you established. Yeah, she's that. But when you take it to that next level, it's the next level, bro. When you are openly taunting someone and following them, bro, that's not good. I would not teach none of my players to do that, bro. At no point. At no point. I'd probably pull you out the game doing that. No, there's no probably. I'll pull you out the game doing that shit. I don't care what the situation is, if it's a black player, a white player, whatever. Like, bro, sit your clown ass down, bro. You need to calm down. That's where I'm at on it. But before we get there, Tony D, I want you to come in and say what you gotta say, bro.
I get you, man. Appreciate having me on. Man, look, I watched probably about the last 2 weeks of women's college basketball. I mean, I kind of keep up with it every now and then, on SportsCenter, just checking highlights and who's who. But I saw this coming, dog.
Okay.
Knowing who Angel Reese is and seeing the last 2 weeks of women's college basketball, I saw this coming. Somebody was definitely going to take it a little too far. For one, old girl from Louisville, that's the true shit talker right there. I ain't gonna BS you. I think her name is Van Lith. Like she hit a big shot. She finna start yelling, "Hey, this my motherfucker!" Like she finna go there. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of seen it coming. I'm like, all right. I see Caitlin Clark do her thing, and I know who Angel Reese is. I'm like, all right. I know what's headed up next. You know what I'm saying? I know. It was a good build up. Now, whatever side you on dealing with Angel Reese and what she did, in the closing moments, look, was it over the top? When I saw it live, I was like, oh, she finna get a tech. But then she didn't get one, and I was like, oh, okay, well, this finna blow over. She finna go celebrate with her team, and everything, and it's finna be, done deal. I ain't think nobody was gonna have this kind of conversation, today. You know what I'm saying? The only thing that kind of made me mad was, the journalists, these sports reporters, calling Keith Overman, calling her, an effing idiot. Another dude saying she's a class of speech and shit. Come on, fam. Like, it's okay. I'm not gonna say it's okay, but if somebody makes a mistake, we know, man, it's basketball. Hey, look, you come like you said earlier. Hey, come sit your ass on the bench, like, because we ain't gonna do that. All right, I'm fine with that. But the journalist aspect, you know, you can't have journalists out there calling, you know, 19, 20-year-old, you know, girls pieces of shit and effing idiots, because that ain't no good look. And I'm gonna tell you this, Sammy, I know you got a daughter. I got a daughter. You know what I'm saying? Any grown man call my daughter a piece of shit after she just made a mistake, hey, now you got an issue with me.
Okay,
it's okay to stand your opinion and say, hey, that was trash, that was bad. But calling somebody a name or calling them out their name, that's a completely different thing. And that's
I'm gonna put this in your lap real quick, Tony. Real quick. The dads of female athletes or male athletes for that matter, any pushback is disrespect. So it doesn't matter. So I'll give an example of LeVar Ball. You say anything negative about his kid, it doesn't matter if you curse him out or not. You are the worst scum in the world to him. And I remember, like, when I played at Prairie View, man, we was at the volleyball game. We supported the volleyball girls. And they had a girl on their team. She was overweight at Grambling. And we was calling her Shaquita O'Neal because she was so goddamn big. So happens her parents were there. And her dad was, like, furious over that shit, right? She was like, damn, don't hit that. I remember my boy Chris said, don't hit the air out the ball, Shaq. His dad was pissed. So, I mean, it's like, what's the line with that? I mean, anything can be perceived as disrespect in that vein. So I'm not going to give you too much credence with that because anything can be it's interpreted as disrespect. So Sam, I'm going to go you and Lamont. I'll let you chime back in. Go ahead.
Yeah, I see. I'm a different type of parent because I guess, well, just because I'm a different type of parent, but I coach as well, and I keep my same ideology across the board. You know what I'm saying? So if my daughter or my son did some shit that warranted that type of response, I'm gonna be like, see, you left it to chance. Like, how I'm gonna get mad at somebody? That's like them going and getting in the fight, starting the fight and getting their ass whooped, and I get mad at that. No, you can't. You left it to chance. You put yourself in that space. I can't get mad and come save you for some shit that you put yourself in. Like, it's not good. It's not fun to hear that your daughter is a piece of shit or ignorant or whatever. But if you think that shit was ignorant, which I would agree that it was ignorant, I'm be like, well, shit, this is why I told you don't do that. This is exactly why I told you. And this is the lessons, because this is what happens when you do things like that. You leave it to chance. You leave it open for people to have these kind of perspectives, and it's nothing you can do about it. Then you can't take the shit back. So you got to watch what you do and watch what you put out. That's the kind of father and coach and dad and all that shit that I am. I'm very protective of my kids, but this is how I protect them, by making sure that they are aware and being proactive instead of reactive. That's how I protect them, because if they reacting to some shit, it's too late. You got to take what you get, and it's too late. I was telling Cliff a story yesterday about how I learned a very stiff life lesson in 9th grade, and it was about you can't control how people hit back. So I was quarterback, 9th grade. One of my wide receivers was in the lunch line. I come up to him. I walk behind him. I tap him on his leg with my foot. This white boy turns around and kicks the shit out of me. I mean, almost tears in my eyes. I want to kill him, but I understood in that moment that it don't matter how fucking hard he kicked me back. I kicked him first. I put my foot on him first, and I have to take what I got from that shit. And from that point on, I've never put my hands on somebody first that I didn't want to receive whatever came after that. So you got to be aware of what you're doing and what can come back and the consequences from it, because this is what happens. And then the dads like you and I, we get out there and we got to fight for our daughters and shit because of the mistakes that they making when we could curve that shit at home. So I can't get behind that, because this is how you stay in front of it, if that makes sense.
You know, but you know, doggone well, nobody's going to be mistake free. That's
absolutely.
All I'm saying. Absolutely. Nobody's going to be mistake free. They're going to make mistakes. And like an adult telling some kids something like that, hold on, fam. Like, first off, you're a journalist. It's a little different. I'm not worried about the fans. You know, you can scroll Twitter all day long, and you're going, Facebook and all, you're going to find all kinds of BS. I'm not worried about that. I was more worried about, as a journalist, hey, man, you got to watch what you're putting out. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, it still looks bad on your behalf. Like I said, it don't matter what side of the fence you're on. If you think she went too far, cool. Because me and my cousin get into it all the time. Like, he's still blowing on my text messages today talking about, man, this was wrong, this and that. I'm like, all right, fam, that's cool. I don't care per se about was it right or was it wrong. My thing is, hey, man, as a journalist, and Cliff, you cover sports, I hear you talk so much, you know, about if somebody did something wrong or not. You don't call them out their name. And I think you know, when we talk about, you know, players and especially college athletes, I mean, the girl ain't even 21 yet. You know what I'm saying? And you're talking about older white men calling, you know, younger people.
Take the white man part out, bro.
Okay, all right, I take that out.
Yeah. It doesn't matter who says it.
In my opinion, that to me, it don't matter if he's white or not, because I'd have been the same way if it was a black guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't need to be calling no kid a piece of shit. That's only talk, like, that's dealing with trash talk on the court. That just
overall, I definitely agree with that.
Like,
well, I guess I agree with you on that, but again, it's out of your control at that point, and you can't get mad at something that's out of your control. She left it open to interpretation. So the only thing you can control is what she does going forward. How people take it and what they say about it, you can't do nothing about that. And a journalist, you know how they are nowadays. It's like whoever saying whatever talking point is going to get the most clicks. So I think that why I don't agree with him calling her that shit, you can't say nothing about it because people are open to whatever their opinion is on it, and we can't control their opinions. So all we can control is how our kids act, how we teach them, and hope that they follow that path moving forward. But when somebody makes some mistakes, it has residual effects. It has consequences, and these are the consequences that come with that shit. So what are we gonna say? We're gonna go at them because they have an opinion about what our kid did, or we're gonna go at our kid and make sure that they don't make that mistake. It's only two ways you can go about it.
So all you say is play offense. So hold on, Chris. I appreciate you coming up, bro. What you basically saying is play offense, man, with training your kids, man, because you're gonna be in adverse situations. You have to be able to handle yourself and know that your actions have a reaction. And that's just facts. But Lamont, I know you've been waiting on deck, but I want you to go.
No, I was saying, I just thought that, like, I mean, I think when I'm looking at basketball, I think the ultimate sin on the basketball court is fighting. Whatever you do, whatever anybody says, you don't get to throwing blows. So, because I didn't hear anybody talking about the Iowa coach being a bad leader for Caitlin when she's been doing all these antics all year to other players and taunting. And now all of a sudden Kim Mulkey's ability to lead is in question because she's been allowing Angel Reese to do this. It's just like, so I'm saying it seems like one-sided because nobody has went after the Iowa coaching staff or the Iowa
I ain't seen
coach.
a lot of that, Lamont. Where have you seen Kim Mulkey critique?
You probably
Hold on, say that again.
Yeah, where have you seen Kim Mulkey critique?
No, I'm saying just now on this panel. I heard y'all say earlier. No, because I don't think she deserves any critique, and they just won a championship. There's nothing.
We don't watch women's basketball like that. So
no, I'm saying I have. I've been watching it, and I'm saying.
But we didn't see it though. So how can you hold us to that standard?
What? See what?
About what you said with Caitlin doing, because we didn't see it. So how can we be held to that standard by your body?
So no, what I'm saying is, you did see it because the clip of her doing it just happened. That was last week.
Hold on, man, Miss Diva. I'm gonna get off Miss Diva real quick. Miss Diva been doing me all kind of bad. She one of my channel members. Thank you so much, Miss Diva. Tell my hello, shadow host. Man, why you doing me so bad, Miss Diva? All right, but go ahead, Lamont, man. I'm sorry, man.
No, you good. No, I just think it's one-sided. And like I said, we didn't see anybody get to fighting. We saw players going back and forth, being competitive. Obviously, in the midst of being that competitive, when you get to that level, it's going to get edgy. It's going to be taunting to whatever degree, whether you was cool with it or not. Sometimes you gotta live with it. These kids are gonna get on their court. They're gonna do what they do anyway. As long as they don't get to throwing blows, I'm fine with it. Especially if it's bringing a layer of entertainment to the sport, that is bringing eyes to the sport that ain't been there. The viewership's been crazy and all this stuff. Just allow it to be. And if you want to give your kids the ultimate discipline, Teach them how to get through those moments, the adversity when people start taunting you. Teach them how not to react, how not to start throwing blows. Y'all keep saying that this taunting is going to lead to fighting. If taunting gets you to start throwing blows on the court, then you the one that need to go, not the person that's doing the taunting, because they wouldn't be taunting you if you was losing anyway. So
I don't do that at all.
You know how to stop people from taunting? I tell my players this all the time. You want to stop people from taunting? Go win. They can't taunt then, so we got to get better.
I don't agree with that at all, bro. It's respect. It's a certain respect level you have on that court, and certain things have a propensity to give you a said result. And we're talking about fighting. So taunting somebody and walking them down, that generally gets you some physical confrontation. Now, luckily, we talked about this earlier. She picked the right one, and not in the black people.
But she's been doing it to black players all year, though. Who?
Because you picked a passive person, and you were overtly doing that shit. Because, bro, in the men's sector, nobody's gonna tolerate that, dog, to that level where I'm gonna follow you around the court and keep doing gestures to you. I don't care if we talking about Midnight League, Church League, YMCA, all that, bro. That's some bullshit. That's why.
But she's been doing it to black players all year.
She's been on bullshit the whole year. Then that's where I'm at.
Okay, so but I'm saying if you said if she do it to the wrong girl, they gonna swing on her. She been doing it to. She been like this all year.
I gotta go back and see.
Like
so I will.
It's not hard to find. Like when her shoe came off and she swatted old girl shot out of bounds. And she stand over top of old girl to staring her down. Like she been doing this stuff all year, but it's just like as soon as it happened, little old Caitlin Clark, the white girl who can't defend herself, then all of a sudden we gotta come to the aid and save her. No. Take your L and get better.
No, fuck that.
Take your L.
I'm a coach at heart, and I like Faye Chance. I'm full of it. Nah, you full of it, homie, and appreciate you being here. But fuck what you talking about. And the reason why I say that is because, bro, as a coach, I am diametrically opposed to what that shit is. Even as a coach, I would say don't say shit to the referee because you can't control what the referee do, right? I'm who I am at all stages. I don't ever change. I'm like, bro, you need to. And I told some of my kids, man, it was a situation. I like if you're gonna fight. But don't be doing this tough guy shit because A, you're not gonna fight. B, you're taking away from my team dynamic. I remember playing in third ward at Yates High School. I told my kids, one of my dudes slapped off on another dude because the dude was just like blatantly elbowing him, and Kevin just slapped the shit out of him. None of my dudes came off the bench, and they always talking about fighting all the time. I'm like, well, y'all didn't come off the bench and fight nobody. I'm not trying to hear that shit. So keep things in its proper perspective. Y'all not gonna fight. Let's understand the respect and the cordiality of basketball, and let's go win. That's what I'm about, bro. So I'm not gonna sit here and let this shit ride because my first interpretation of this was kind of different than where the conversation went, but it's okay. The conversation goes where it goes about the racial aspect. To me, that don't mean anything to me. It's about what's right and what's wrong. That's it. That's it. And I'm gonna teach my kid, i.e., my blood or my actual players, the same exact thing, no matter what. But let me stop talking. My boy Chris, you ain't got a chance to rock yet, so I want you to get a chance to speak, and then we'll go back to Tony, and then we'll go back to Lamont.
What was you saying about the racial dynamic, though?
Well, yes, some people, in my opinion, have a complex where, like, when it's a black person doing something to a white person, you're behind it no matter what. Doesn't matter how incendiary it is. Doesn't matter how out of pocket it is. You're just down with it just cause. Just for the culture, how we say. So that's what we wanted to kind of address, but the conversation was kind of more just on the sports level, which is fine. But I do want to put that out there as we go forward.
No, my issue to me, the dynamic is the double standards that the media is putting out there. Like, if Kayla Clark does it, she's considered passionate. If Angel does it,
we already talked about
she's
that, bro.
considered good. That's what I mean.
That's the same thing, though, bro. We already talked about
it's double standards.
Okay. I'm gonna let you lay your thesis out. How so?
No, I don't like the double standards that the media do. But will
What's the
admit
double
that
standard?
I say black athletes got to be prepared for situations like that because most of the media is white and they're going to paint that picture.
Right. But
if
what's
you
the double
allow them.
standard that you specifically have a problem with?
The media double standard.
Of what?
Kayla is considered passionate for the shit she does. Angel is considered classless and
Chris,
ghetto.
I'm not gonna let you off the hook, bro. Tell me specifically what you have an issue with.
That's the issue I have.
It's not you saying generic shit. What specifically you have issue with? And I respect you, bro. You always on channel, so I just want to pin this down because I want this. It's a bigger issue than just me and you talking.
The double standard. That's what I mean.
Of what?
The media double standard.
Of what?
Because Kayla Clark and Angel do the same thing. One's considered passionate, the other considered ghetto.
What's the
and
same
classless. Thing? They do the same thing on the court.
What?
You see Kayla Clark?
Talk to me like I'm 4 years old.
Talk to me like I'm 4 years old. Technical she got that day, for example. For example, the technical when she threw the ball and stuff like that.
I thought there was some bullshit on Kayla's part. Absolutely.
But they consider her passionate for that.
I think people.
Nobody like, oh, that's classless.
I saw people saying that was bullshit on her part, and she deserved a technical foul, which I agree.
Mm-hmm.
That's some old passive aggressive bullshit, and I thought that she deserved that tech because you already got to delay a game, you did it again. Yeah, you deserve it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm totally good with that.
Yeah. No, I'm talking about the picture that the media paints. Okay. They're not going to call her classes for that.
Okay.
They say she's passionate. That's what I mean. The double standard. I don't like the double standard.
So you're saying, okay, so black athletes get a harder critique for similar actions. Okay. All right. I just want you to pin it down because this talk is so generic, bro.
Yeah, that's why I say black athletes, they need to be taught that from day one. Say, you're not going to get the same critique. So don't put yourself in that position to where the media, because the media also can fuck up your paychecks. Because believe it or not, a lot of these owners are listening to the shit that's being said.
Let me just comment. And Ms. Lee, I love you. So you said that when you started labeling her as a female Steph Curry is where you messed up. No, I didn't, because Steph Curry is going to go down as one of the best basketball players of all time. Like, straight up. I mean, Caitlin Clark, I'm going to go out and say that when it's all said and done, when the smoke clears, she won't be regarded as – Steph Curry won't be the male version of her. And we understand sports that it's a male-dominated entity. Mm-hmm. So, generally speaking, we reference things from the male perspective. So I can't rock with that, Ms. D, because it's a reference point based on greatness that is established greatness just throughout. And we know Steph Curry is the greatest shooter in basketball history, period. Right?
Facts.
So that's what I'm saying. It's not to be incendiary. It's not to be disrespectful. It's just matter of fact. So I wanted to address that as we go along. But I want to move on to Lamont. Chris, I appreciate that pushback.
I'm just going to add to that.
Go ahead,
I do not blame Kayla. I don't blame Kayla Clark for none of this. None of this is her fault at all. The girl can ball. She deserves all the publicity that she get, and I don't blame her for none of this that's going on. She has nothing to do with this.
I mean,
but I would say I'm
feel sorry for her though, bro. Like I'm not that guy. Like, oh, well, this poor woman. I'm just saying with the malfeasant behavior is that's it. I don't. I'm
but
not,
I want to say this.
I don't for nothing.
In the long run, this is kind of in a crazy way a good thing, because look, we're talking about women's college basketball. We're talking about women's basketball.
I agree with that.
You don't wake up you don't see people talking about women's basketball every day, all over social media, all over Instagram, all over Facebook. When last time you just like, man, y'all saw that game against State?
Agree.
Remember, in the long run, so the WNBA, they need to be taking notes. Because this is the type of publicity, that's how you get more money, more revenue, and the players make more money. When you get 9.9 million people watching your games, that's how you get it.
I agree.
Forget all that extra stuff. Bring that money in. Have them eyes watching.
Hey, Bird versus Magic 2.0, man. 40 years later.
Saved it, and that saved the NBA. This might save the WNBA. Boy,
It might.
we bring that revenue.
I ain't against that. All right, so Sammy, I know you want to chime in real quick, but I want to go back to Lamont so we can keep things nice fluid. We go back to Tony.
Yeah, I saw a comment from one of the ladies talking about policing. This is another form of policing. I wanted to address that.
Let me go back to it. But there's probably Miss Geniality in the building. But yeah, go ahead and speak your piece, and then I'll try to find it to correlate with what you're saying.
Well, I didn't know what it was.
There we go.
There we go. Long discussion on women behavior and actions. Looks and sounds like another form of policing in another arena. I have a fundamental problem with that comment because it feels, and I think that my problem with this whole situation is because just women in general are pretty much allowed to do anything without any repercussions, and you don't want it policed, so they have to act right, but you don't want them to
It's camera does that. It's camera too too much for this thing. Let me get this comment real quick, then we go to Monday. And Sammy get back. Let's see. Fade says all this fallacious subject switching. The fuck does crime have to do with this anyway?
Cameron saying not today.
Hey,
I don't know what you're talking about, Fade, but whatever. All right, go ahead, Lamont.
So I think the NCAA set they set the bar for what they're going to police and the types of taunting they're going to allow. They set the bar for what they will allow, and when they set that bar, we've seen what it's done for women's college basketball this year by allowing the players to take it to that next level, to get a little bit more edgy, to get a little bit more aggressive, to make some of these matchups turn into, contentious rivalries. That they set the bar because you still in women's basketball, you still can't go out there and push and flagrant foul. You can't punch people. There's real repercussions to your actions, but they're going to allow certain types of taunting because it's good for viewership. That's what once you get to collegiate basketball on up, it's about the entertainment value. It's about the money that you can bring in. Like, let's not act like that's not a factor in this. It's a big factor. And now with the NIL money involved, it's an even bigger factor. So you have to be able so what Angel's doing, she's going to allow for more money to come into NIL money for other women's players that follow her, especially if they can follow that same model. She's all over social media herself, right? And she when she's in game, she's playing to a high level. And she's always doing something to go viral, whether we like it or not, just like what she did in Iowa. It's entertainment. And so, like I said, I don't have a problem with what she did. I think Caitlin reacted perfectly. When you're losing, don't compound it by acting out because somebody is doing what you did and they mocking you. So I respect Caitlin for just taking her lick. Okay, you got me back. All right, I did it. All right, I'll take that. We see you again. I'm gonna get my lick back because I guarantee you, if they play again and Angel lose, we know what Caitlin Clark is gonna be doing. We know exactly, especially if it's a big game, and that's what people are gonna be looking for. If they match up again, let's say they get to the WNBA and they in a championship game, and Caitlin Clark hit the game winner in the game 7. We know exactly what Caitlin Clark is going to do when that game ends. She's going to get to the hand, waving in her face, especially if she do something on the team with Angel Reese on it. So this is what we're looking for. And it always going to make for better basketball. But that's why I say at the end of the day, as a player, you have to have the discipline to say, okay, I'm not going to allow these things to take to the next level just because they taunt me or something like that. I'm going to get my get back when I see you again. That's what creates these rivalries. That's what makes the game better. So I don't want to tell these players to stop doing this stuff. I want to keep watching. I want to see this stuff. It's just a game.
I don't like that in basketball on no level. So I'm just not. But I ultimately, and I said this on Facebook, I understand that this brought attention to the women's basketball that was not there. So I I'm not so much self-righteous that I don't understand the positive, quote unquote, that came from it. So I do recognize that. So I mean, it is what it is. And so Tony, and then we go to Chris. What you got?
Oh, man.
All right, Tony on mute. So all right, Chris, go ahead.
I'm here.
I was gonna say,
hold on, Chris. I want Tony to go because it's been a minute, and then Chris,
I'm here, man. Man, just again, you know, just seeing all the build up, man. Like this was, I would say this is probably the most. I mean, everybody typically watches Final Fours, but like this is probably the most, you know, talked about, you know, women's college game in forever. Yeah. And I think that this entire year is probably one of the most, you know, talked about college games. I mean, college seasons ever for women, in my opinion. I mean, just beyond, you know, Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark, who flat out balled. I mean, you still got, you know, what's the other girl, Paige Beckers, and I mean, it's a bunch of them that really, you know, I guess they're trying to grow the game, and this is another way of it, you know, just allowing them to have that passion and just, you know, showboating and doing whatever they need to do. I'm all right with it. That's fine. But, you know, I think we just do ourselves a disservice when we really just like, all right, fam, it ain't no place in the game like that. Nah, she don't. Man, look, if you watched the last couple of weeks, you saw it coming. You could not literally sit there and watch, you know, the last, you know, from the Sweet 16 on down and did not think, all right, we gonna get ourselves, you know, some trash talk or whatever in the last game. Again, like I just thought it was gonna happen. And it just happened in a way that a lot of people didn't agree with Angel Reese. All right, fine. Some people don't agree with it, but guess what? That's what happened. It grew the game, whatever.
I mean, I would just volley back to you is that okay? The residual positive, you got to take the residual negative too.
Yeah, and that's
the love, like I always say, bro.
But and you know what? Another thing though, Caitlin Clark even talked on outside the lines. You know what I'm saying? And she said, "Man, Angel Reese don't even deserve all this. That you know that she's getting all the flack now.
She's the high road person, bro.
But look, but there's a lot of people that have like even the girl from Louisville. She said when Caitlin Clark was trash talking her, she was just like, "Hey, I love it. It was trash talk. That is what it is. Like that's like." We know what it's like to go out there and compete and trash talk each other. And we like, you know, oh, I like playing against this dude because he trash talk and we bring the best out of each other. That's how I saw it. And that's how I
have no problem with trash talk, bro. I don't. Huh? I have no problem with trash talk.
I know. No, I'm saying as far as his, you know, the residual effects being both good and bad. And then you look at the players and the players like, man, I don't even care. I don't care. Like, I don't even care. Like we trash talk. So what? Like why y'all acting like nobody else can trash talk? And I'm just talking about for the players on the floor. They gonna do what they gonna do.
It's levels to the shit though, bro. It's like when the taunting aspect is where that's why the NBA stopped that shit. And the best reference I have is the Dikembe Mutombo.
Yeah, I know.
He couldn't do it to people's face no more, so he started doing it to the crowd like all the time, right? Because it exacerbates an action. So that's all I'm saying. So I'm for the popping off. Like I was a big trash talker when I played, but
I see
different. My only thing I'm opposed to is following the motherfucker and taunting him and continuously doing it because that is horse shit.
I get it.
That's my only problem.
I get it.
I have no problem beyond that.
I'm not opposed to nobody saying that that's an issue, man. Look, you coach. I understand it. Hey, you don't want that a part of your game. I get from your players. I understand it. I understand where people coming from when they say that. You know, don't follow, don't taunt, all this good stuff. I'm all right with that. That's where you draw your line. However, we saw it coming. Like if nobody really wanted that, then they should have been trying to stop this stuff a long time ago. But nobody was saying something until it overflowed. Like you don't stop it. The best way is to be proactive. If you didn't want this to get to that manner where somebody was following somebody and taunting like that, then you should have stopped it a long time ago. But we know
who else follows somebody though.
No, it overflowed. That's what I'm saying. Like it just went over the top.
Being too lenient with the taunting.
Right. Everybody was just being too lenient, and like old boy said, this is something I've seen Angel Reese do. She blocked the old girl with a shoe off, and she stood over. Like it's been stuff like that, and nobody's really checked her on that. So when you see these last couple of weeks just building up with all the noise talking, like I mean, it's kind of expected.
Okay, I accept that. I do have a line, bro. Because
I get it. No, and I agree. I'm cool with your stance. It has nothing to do with coaches saying, "Nah, I don't. This ain't the place for that in the game." But if it ain't no place for that in the game, then I think all the coaches should have been trying to jump in front and stop it then, because it's gonna go overboard, fam.
Okay. Let me address this real quick, and then I'm gonna go back to Chris. I know Chris ready to rock. Right, but it's almost like ingrained in the culture, like with coaches scared to say shit to these kids. They're scared to challenge them because the kid, well, you won't let me beat me. And then the transfer portal is wide open, but it's wide open. And you know what I'm saying? Like that's the era we in. So they walking, they towing this line. I'm just sorry. I just would be more of a staunch kind of guy. Like, yo, no, you do this or you can go play somewhere else. And I would hate to lose you. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna suck. But if you're exceptional, but no, the standard is here. And I think that's kind of where AAU is losing right now. You're seeing all these goddamn fights breaking out between coaches and referees and all this shit because we're letting this shit fly. And ultimately, that's what I have issues with. So to your point, yeah, it should be checked at the door, because when you open the door, guess what? All kind of stuff start walking in your house. So right. I'm with you on that all the way. I'm just saying I'm more of them check that shit, like take your shoes off, put your coat on at the doorstep kind of guy, because this is where you ultimately can get. And now this didn't lead to no fighting, thank God, but that type of practice leads to that shit. And I've seen it so many times in my own lived life, not just some shit I just seen on ESPN or whatever, blogger. I've seen this in real life. That kind of shit leads to that. I'm just no.
Let me interject on that, Cliff. And that's what I was gonna make a point about earlier with homie at the top. What's his name? The coach.
Lamont, FYS.
Lamont, yeah. That's what I was gonna talk about earlier, because he said like the ultimate sin is fighting in basketball, but you okay the shit that leads to fighting. So like how do you stop it, or how do you say that this is okay when you know that this is an action that can lead to fighting, but think that the ultimate sin is fighting? Like those two things don't match up. You would think that you would want to prevent things that would lead to fighting if the ultimate sin is fighting. So it's like, this is okay as long as you don't do this, but we know that this could lead to this. It don't make sense. And I think that that's the problem. Go ahead.
I got to do this. I'm sorry, y'all. I know, Chris, I know you're ready to cook, and then go back to Lamont. Mm-hmm. Faye, bro, I'm sorry, bro. The way you view sports is not at all how I view sports, bro. You sound I'm getting old. Fuck that, bro. You are on this kick where you just excuse anything and let the chips fall where they may, bro. No, man. Anything that you preside over, you gotta at some point have some type of standard, bro. You have to have a standard. So I'm sorry that I may sound a little dinosaurish, but listen, that's how things that are in order, that's how it looks. You gotta check the stuff at the door, because if you let everything just go, let everything be palatable, no problem, you get chaos. And I'm sorry, that's enough
cause and effect
at every point. What'd you say, Chris?
Cause and effect.
Cause and effect. So you can't just wait until the result on everything and then just, okay, well, we'll evaluate past the result. Maybe, just maybe, you should play offense a little bit and check it. That's what I'm saying, bro. Mm-hmm. It does say fade. Watch it to me. It's just saying, bro. No, I'm sorry, homie. I rock with you, but what you talking about is some bullshit right now, and that's just what it is. What it is. So, Chris, let you go. I think Miss Diva just pulled up, and I'll let Miss Diva go. I know Miss Diva go score.
Who?
Oh, all right. So let me go. Chris, FYI, go Miss Diva.
Well, go Lamont, because I want to hear what his response was today.
I was just saying, when you hoop, anything can cause a fight. Hard foul. Yeah. You could be swiping at the ball, accidentally hit a guy in the face. He fall to the ground, get up on a fight. Like when you hoop, it's so many incidental things that can happen outside.
Exactly.
No, hold on.
What's probability though, bro?
Hold on. When I've hooped, the thing that most commonly caused fights when I hooped was hard fouls.
Because
that caused the most fights.
Guys wasn't following you around doing shit like that.
No. What I'm saying is, if we're gonna start eliminating what causes the most fights in basketball, then we would eliminate all physical contact because it's the physical contact that causes the most fights.
Somebody the shit out of them. You exacerbate the point.
No,
you diffuse it when you like, oh shit, my bad, bro. That's how you counter that. So no, I'm not gonna let you do that, bro.
That don't always stop, dude. Because my thing in basketball is if somebody gets up swinging, they were looking for a reason to fight anyway.
Not necessarily.
It's some dude. Most dudes I see on the court that be swinging, they usually scrubs. Like I feel like the guys that swing and fight on the court are the scrubs. Good players ain't just out there swinging and fighting. They ain't trying to risk it all over. No, that just don't happen a lot.
Michael Jordan out there throwing punches.
Huh?
Michael Jordan in the game. Look at
the reason why he was, but the reason why they were throwing punches is because of what the NBA promoted and allowed it to a certain degree. When the NBA said no more of this, and nobody started. Then obviously, because when you set a bar for what players can and can't do, like what they've done in women's college basketball, players are going to toe the line up to that bar. So again, like the women, all they're doing is they're towing this line of taunting up until what the standard of the NCAA is. And the media can't get mad. We can't get mad because we've been seeing it all year long. And when it happens one time in the championship game, now we want to get all pile on Angel Reese and then not address all the other incidents with all the other players, including Caitlin Clark, that led up to this.
But we didn't see all of those. We didn't see all the other incidents. And are you saying that?
Yes, you did see it. Y'all saw it. Y'all, and you got the ability to go see it.
I don't follow girls basketball, bro. I let in with that.
Then what was you doing? Then what was you doing watching this national championship game, Hoop Jargon?
Because everybody started talking about it, and it came into my orbit.
Why were they talking about Angel Reese?
That's irrelevant. The fact is, I saw it. I saw it because I saw it, and then when I saw it, I evaluated.
Only talking about Angel Reese because of the bravado.
It's not in my orbit, bro.
But if she wasn't doing all of these things leading up to it, she wouldn't have been in your orbit. She's been like this all year, and she got into your orbit because of the things that she's doing. And you watch.
Been so goofy, dog. God damn it, you been so goofy today. Now you see it. I didn't see it. So if I don't see it, I don't know.
Most people don't watch women's college basketball.
I don't watch women's basketball like that. What the fuck? Like you being so goofy, bro.
Well, let's not get lost in that.
Game of women's sports today. Yes.
Let's
women's.
Are y'all gonna really sit up here and fight like this? Stop this. Stop it.
Hold on, Ms. D, before you go, Ms. D, I'll let you rock. I know you ready to go. So go watch. No, I don't have to watch. But when I see it, I comment on it. I don't have to do shit that I don't want to do, bro. Man?
Just let that go. But Lamont, I want to make sure. So I want to get back to the point of you saying that, because I was really, really specific about you saying you don't want fighting in the game, but you understand that these actions can lead to fighting. So how does that make sense to you? I want to know how that makes sense, because this is my fundamental problem with one of the fundamental problems with how people are handling this and going forward. It's like you want it, but you don't want this. But you know that this leads to this. So how does that make sense?
I'm saying we can't police it all, because anything, even if you take taunting out, do you think we remove taunting from basketball, we ain't going to ever see a fight again? Fights are going to happen in basketball whether we want it to or not. Players are going to talk crazy on the court, whether they hide it from the refs, whether they don't do it publicly, where the cameras is easily recognizable by the cameras. There's things going on the court that we aren't aware of that can potentially lead to fighting, from fouls to trash talk before they get on the court. It's gonna happen. So like the thing is, let's not remove the stuff that's bringing more eyes and viewership to the sport because we want to play this goody two shoe type of thing where we want to see people just we want to see them prance around and shake hands and be all nice.
No,
It's not a nice sport. It's a contact sport. It's a physical sport. It's a competitive sport, and don't take away what makes these games competitive.
Well, also don't say that you think that fighting is the ultimate sin then, because you got to understand that that's what it can lead to. And if you want that in the game, you got to want fighting in the game as well. You can't have it both ways.
I don't want fighting in the game. But at the end of the day, Caitlin Clark's reaction was exactly what you're supposed to do when you losing and you put yourself in that situation because you've been taunting everybody else. So when it's your time to get taunted, she took it. She took it like it was like a woman, and she walked off the court and took her L.
Or she's a white girl that's passive aggressive, and white people are passive aggressive.
But you can't say it's just a white girl because Angel Reese has done it to black girls all year long.
I haven't seen that. I haven't seen her follow anybody else.
If you can show me, all you got to do is go look. It's right there.
Show me one clip of her following anybody else like that.
Bro,
one clip.
Hold on. I can show you multiple clips.
If you got to put in the chat.
I can show you multiple clips of her taunting black girls all year.
No,
I won't. Bro.
I'm talking about following her like she did Caitlin Clark.
That y'all using this following thing. Okay.
But that's the thing though.
No, bro.
She did walk up there.
I got no problem with talking shit.
At the end of the day,
I got no problem with talking shit.
She did it. Okay, the following thing, call it what you want. At the end of the day, that's on coaches to address. That's what her coach needs to address. If she crossed the line, if she taunted, but at the end of the day, if you listen to how Angel Reese's mom talks about Kim Mulkey, there's no reason for me to believe that Kim Mulkey's not doing a great job of handling her players in that South Carolina team.
It doesn't matter, bro. Like I know Kim Mulkey from a personal level, from 1 degree separated, and I'm just saying I see some imbalances with how she operates. That's what I'm saying. So
bro, that's all D1 college coaches, bro. That's all D1. All D1 college coaches got some.
Got some. Standard then? Oh well, all 300 coaches do it. Well, shit, Lamont. How can you critique anybody then if everybody does it?
I'm just saying we critique her, but let's not demonize her for it.
But no, I'm sorry. We don't. So like,
I'm saying we critique, but let's not demonize it like we don't want it in the game. Like because we call this, when we see it in the men's side, we call it entertaining. This taunting happens. So like I said, now y'all trying to police the level of taunting. Oh, you can't walk up on nobody. Yes, okay, so tell me, as you creating the rules and you're writing this rule and you changing it, how do you draft this up? You can taunt to this level, but you can't walk up to this guy and you can't say it this way.
Someone and demonstratively mocking them, yes, that is too much. That's why I draw the line.
You need to push for that specific rule.
I'm sorry.
We don't care that much.
You say what?
I'd say we don't care that much to push for that rule in girls basketball.
I mean, whatever, man. It's a 2 week topic. This is a 2 week topic, and then it's on to the next. But we're talking about it right now.
Yeah.
I mean, you know how I go. All right. So Miss Diva, you didn't get a chance to talk yet. I want you to hop in and talk your sugar honey iced tea. Go ahead, Miss Diva. You got.
I'm gonna be nice because I'm just sitting here listening to y'all men, and I'm like, for real, really. And this coming from a woman's point of view. You can't hit me and tell me how to get my lick back. Now you might pinch me, and I might decide to go pick up a steel baseball bat and bust you upside your head. You can't tell me how to get my damn lick back. Should have kept your hands to yourself. That's number one. Number two, little mama was embarrassed. This ain't got nothing to do with all of that stuff y'all arguing, all this taunting. People been taunting from Little League all the way up to their dead. Hell, we've been playing dozens for the day. We taunt. Hell, the worst taunters, in my opinion, is the band members. They ruthless. Way worse than sport, basketball, and football, and all the rest of this stuff. So we gonna sit here and argue about taunting. Now we gonna sit here and get to the meat and potatoes of it.
Go ahead.
They sit here and had high hopes that them girls were gonna beat them other girls, and it didn't work out. And they mad. It is got something to do with race. At the end of the fucking day, it's got something to do with race. Like I said, I'm a band mom. My personal child is in band, but I have a ton of other kids in every damn sport it is. The best sport to me is female basketball. Cause them little heifers be balling. A lot of people have I ain't gonna say slept on female basketball, but them girls be balling, especially during playoff time. I mean, somebody got a busted nose, a busted eye, somebody got bit. I mean, they out there fighting. So I'm like, what is this with the taunting and the toning? She did it a second and a half too long. Didn't ESPN or NFL channel or somebody just did a series or a documentary on the Kate little girl taunting people and how rough mouth and all the rest of this stuff? And now y'all mad at old girl because she got the best of them? I mean, I always tell my kids, you can't beat a motherfucker at their own game, but you can play that motherfucker better than them. Okay, so she followed her around the court. Does it matter?
Yeah, it does.
I mean, does it matter? Why?
Yes.
Why?
Yes.
Because she chose to do it a little longer? You can't tell me how to get my lick back.
Yes.
You can't tell me how to get my lick back.
I don't agree with that, Miss Diva. You can.
Why? Why?
Because when you set the rules, you have to have a line of demarcation of too much is too much. So you can just say, all right, everything's palatable. All right, no problem. Everybody can just, you can bring that energy back how you want to bring it. Cool. In the streets, absolutely. What you're saying is not incorrect. In the streets, hey, nobody's the arbiter of that. But when we talk about a controlled environment, we talking about, organized sports. Yes, there's a line that is. And that's why in certain sports, you can't flip the bat. You can't do, like we're talking baseball. Yes, there's a line.
And how long how long has Thompson been going on? Forever? But all of a sudden now, and I hate to be this way, and I'm nowhere prejudiced and all the rest of it. All of a sudden, the little white girl's getting beat. Now it's a problem. But if the tables had been turned, and let's just keep it real, if the tables had been turned and I was beating the brakes off LSU, wouldn't been nothing been said. All this basketball season, they done praised that damn Caitlin, and all you've heard about is the other. Well, she got on lashes, she got on hair. They done talked about this girl appearance all day long, but they ain't nobody said nothing about them double doubles she done got all the games. Ain't nobody talked about her playing style, but they sure talk about her lashes. They done talked about her hair. They done talked about her.
I ain't nothing about that shit. So I mean,
I'm telling you. Yeah, I'm telling you. Right. That's all I heard was lashes. Because I had to sit here and say, "Well, dog, how that baby play? I got to give her props to playing a full lace wig because I know she hiding it." That's all I heard about that child was lashes and hair and nails. That's it. That's all.
Miss Diva,
or blocking with her shoe in her hand.
I don't see how that's a problem.
So
that's a good thing.
I think that, I watched that game. I watched the whole game, and the whole time I'm going for LSU, and I'm very happy that they are beating Iowa because I'm going for LSU. Again, we know Kim Mulkey from a friend. And so the relationship is like, all right, I'm going for LSU. So I'm happy for him the whole game until I saw that shit. It was when she did that. That's in that exact
until
moment.
She did what?
So on the free throw line, she was doing this. She doing this to Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark just looking straight. That's the first time.
What else did y'all expect her to do? I'm pretty sure Caitlin Clark was at home them last couple of days. Yeah, y'all gonna beat them. You just beat South Carolina. Y'all got them. Y'all got them. Yeah, they were pumping her head up, and she got down there and got bust upside the head, and she's sitting on that damn line wishing that this game is over with because we done got embarrassed. So what did people expect her to do? Because I'm pretty sure she thought they had them beat. She thought she had them beat. What did y'all expect her to do? Now, all these other prior games, Caitlin out here flagging folks away. Oh, I ain't gonna even guard you. Oh, I can't see you. You can't see me. Go home and all the rest is talking good cash shit. But see, this is my thing. And I just told my coworker that. I mean, you can be the best at what the matter of fact, I put like this. Do y'all remember? I can't remember the year, but do you remember the year that the New England Patriots went all the way through undefeated? And got to the got to the championship and they lost. I'm not studying all that stuff you did. When it came down to the real time, you lost. That, in my opinion, they wipe all the rest of that mess up out that window. Caitlin, you talked all this shit. You did all this goddamn tone. You had a field day. When it came down, you got busted in the mouth. Now
okay
everybody
with that.
pull, let's power pat on the back. This ain't got nothing to do with nothing but racism.
I'm okay
Because
with
hell, if
that.
the
I'm
tables
not
had been
saying feel
turned,
victim.
wouldn't nobody
I'm
say
okay
nothing.
with that. It's just the following down. That shit exacerbates bullshit culture with basketball, and that's where I'm at. I don't care about her losing and getting embarrassed. I don't care like that. That's how sports go.
Yeah.
You don't. You're not
But
guaranteed to
I'm not
respect.
arguing against what you're saying. Yes, the taunting does bring a lot of unnecessary BS in it. I mean, here where I live at, shit, they can't even have games because you can't even find referees because the referees is getting tired of being taunted
They're
by the
not getting
parents
paid
and
enough
all
for
the
that
rest of
shit.
it. So I agree with you on that. But on this particular matter right here, this is racist. I'm sorry. This ain't got nothing to do with white against black. Y'all thought them
What?
white girls gonna get up there and beat them black girls, and
Not
now
me.
your feelings hurt.
Not me.
I'm so,
Not me.
that's
I
all
don't
this
care
is.
about her losing.
Miss
I
Diva,
lost.
no.
I
Absolutely
never
not.
went to a swag tournament, so I lost a whole bunch. So I don't care about people losing. Forget them as far as I'm concerned.
Well, you know who my home team is. Hush up, D-Love. Don't tell nobody. You know who my team is, so you know I'm just hoping we can get at least one good win out of this.
I ain't tripping, man. Listen, man, I'm all for competition. I am. And when you lose, when you win, to the victor go to spores. I'm good with that. I'm just saying there's a line that you walk with that because it leads to devaluing the product. That's all I'm saying. That's it. Nothing
So are
beyond that.
people mad about the taunting? Are people mad that she went 15 seconds longer than Caitlyn?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm still really
15 takes a long time.
So I'm gonna go rob. Me and you gonna go rob a bank. I'm gonna get 10 more extra years, because I got 50 extra more $1,000 than you. But both of us committed a crime.
Ain't that how I go though? How
That
much
is.
you steal that it leads to a penalty?
Hell no. You rob a bank, I don't care if you get $1 or
No,
a
with
1,000.
retribution and shit like that. No, bro.
And we both gonna get the same penalty. We going to jail?
I don't think that's so, man.
It's armed robbery for both, man.
If you hit them for $30, you're not getting a sentence for somebody who hit them for $3 million.
So to her point,
but it's both a crime.
Hold on, Ms. Diva. Hold on, Ms. Diva. That's like robbing a bank, and I walk in and I'm the lookout guy. I don't have a gun, but you have the gun. You're gonna get a different sentence. In this case, Angel Reese had the gun. Yeah, Caitlin Clark robbed the bank too, but she had the gun. It's a stiffer sentence. That's just what it is. You can't rate them the same because it's a different offense. When she went overboard, it was overboard, and you got to take that into account.
Yeah, but it still goes back to this. Mm-hmm. Don't start it and then get mad at how people respond, even if they go overboard. Did she go overboard with it? Yes. Did she go overboard with it? Yes. But we can't get mad at it.
But in whose eyes did she go overboard? In our eyes, because y'all feel she went overboard?
Yeah.
I thought she was fine. I didn't mind it.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, taunting is taunting.
No, it's not. There's levels to taunting. No.
Man, Hoop, that's the first time I heard that, bro.
Okay, so I've seen taunting where you get in somebody's face and you shove them. Is that taunting is taunting? No, I seen one of my
let's put your hands on somebody.
Yeah, that's
fighting. Like I said, I come from a school.
If you're gonna say that shit, that's taunting though, right?
Yep.
That's taunting, or like kind of put a shoulder on them.
Hold on. But Hoop, me and you both have hooped in places where you can literally say and do anything, but as soon as that B word come out, we fight. Right. So what I'm saying is, for us, saying the B word might be crossing the line, but we can say anything else. We can call you scrub, but so who is we to be the arbiters of what's crossing the line when it's different no matter wherever you hoop?
Of observing where you hoop and what the results are from it. We know that when you overdo it, somebody's gonna generally retaliate. So what you do is you step as an entity, you step in front of it like, no, this is not cool. We don't like that, right? No. So when you come and call somebody a bitch, right? We know that's a flagrant word amongst men, and generally it leads to bad results. So you don't let that happen.
Hey, that's
all I'm saying.
I give the Iowa coach credit, but giving her players the discipline not to react. That was good coaching right there.
Is that, wait a minute, hold on, stop there. You give the Iowa coach credit for having it. No, I'm gonna give the Iowa coach credit for getting somewhere, licking your wounds and closing your mouth. That's all it was. You got embarrassed. That's embarrassing. That's why they were quiet.
I don't see them as victims like that. I don't care about Iowa's program at all. I've been to school. Iowa's cool. I don't care about them. I'm just saying about the act. That's it. That's all I care about, bro. I'm not trying to recorrect and give Iowa coach so much props. And
No, I'm just joking there. Right?
Yeah, I'm about to say I really don't care about that. Like, you reacted how you reacted. To me, that was the right way, but who cares? Like, you decide to do it how you did it. If you punched in the mouth, then that'll be your prerogative. But I'm saying the action would have led to that. That's all I'm saying.
There's a reason why Angel Reese won a championship with LSU, but didn't win one in Maryland, right? And she specifically talked about playing for one coach because she was like, she might have been quieter, not as verbose over at Maryland, but we didn't know about her. Nobody talked about her. She comes to LSU. This coach allows her to be herself, do her own thing, play her game the way she wants to play it. They win a championship. So it was one formula that works, allowing her to be this way, to taunt, to do all this, to be aggressive. But the other way with Maryland, where nobody watched her, nobody cared. So what's the formula? So what formula seems to work better? I'm allowing her, if I'm coaching her the same way. I'm gonna let her do that the same way she did it this year. I'm gonna allow her to do that again. I'm not changing nothing.
Yeah, I'm tweaking that like off rip because I remember coaching a guy who's my homie to this day, and we had to rein him back a whole bunch. When I was coaching at Prairie View, of stuff because he just was that kind of dude, man. He the stuff he did, man. You got to check and balance that stuff, man. You can't just let everything rock and just wait for a result. And we should have done that. No, what you do is you have a standard, and you just police it within that standard. And that's all I'm saying. So again, the shit talking, no problem.
I get that.
I got no problem hitting them back with the Tony Yayo or the John Cena, whatever you want to call it. I got no problem with that. But again, when you chasing them, doing this in their face,
well, can I ask a question? Why? Well, can I ask a question? I mean, you got valid points and everything. Why doesn't your logic work for like Draymond Green and Dylan Brooks and all of them?
It does.
I mean, they out there slapping folks and punching folks and fighting folks. I mean,
okay. I'll answer your question. I hate that extra shit that Draymond Green does. I'm a fan of his since Michigan State. I like Draymond. Anybody who knows me know I'm a big Draymond Green fan. But with that clown shit he does, he puts himself in precarious situations. And not only that, he jeopardizes his team with that shit. And I hate that shit. So when he goes and gets these technical fouls after 16, you got to sit out a game, you hurt your team, right? So you got to rein that shit in. So even from a guy who I like, which is Draymond Green, I don't condone that bullshit from nobody. I don't care if I like you or not. Bullshit is bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't see no tweets about him being a SOB, and I don't see no tweets about him being
on Draymond Green.
Everybody talking about Draymond.
Charles Barkley, for example, been on his ass, and he don't like that shit.
I don't all people. Charles Barkley
been on Draymond Green ass. Just saying, Miss Diva.
I gotta agree with whatever somebody said it earlier. I think this is all sexist because y'all just want these girls to get out here and play pretty and stuff, and they can't play like boys. And then when they get out here and play better than some of these boys, y'all want to call them shit.
I don't think that's it. I don't think that's it. But I can say this: Hoop and Sammy are coaches, so they come from a different. They talk about it differently. And even somebody else on here is a coach, so they talk about it differently.
FYF.
Yeah, FYF. They talk about it differently. I don't think it's about policing women because, in my opinion, me just seeing the build up, I wasn't even mad at it because it was the build up. Now, if nobody had been trash talking and Angel Reese had just did this, then I'd be like, all right, fam, you out of pocket. Like you straight up out of line for doing that, even though. Like let's say, hey, you do something like that at the park or something, like you might get your head knocked off. You better, if you run up and invade somebody's space, you better be ready to defend yourself because from where I'm from, that's what's gonna happen. Like you run up in my face after a pickup game, fam, I'm throwing my hands up because I think you finna do something. That's generally what happens. Now, in this case, everybody it was just so much. I think college basketball has did a good job of highlighting shit talking this year. That's what, and it just overflowed. Like I said earlier, it just overflowed. That's all it was. That's why I wasn't even mad at it, but I understand why coaches are.
I gotta disagree with y'all. No, they had that. Come on. They had LSU beat before the Final Four even came. They already had Iowa's winning everything. Y'all kept pumping them folks up. They gonna win. They gonna win. They gonna win.
They had South Carolina winning, but that's not even my point. My point is they were just highlighting like a lot of the flamboyancy and a lot of the passion, as they like to call it for certain people. They were just highlighting that all this year, and I was okay with it. Like, it's cool. It just spilled over in the last 2 minutes of the national championship game. It just spilled over. That's all.
Okay, so hold on. Let me make sure I followed you. So they highlighted all the foolishness, all the trash talk, all the technicals. But when it came to Caitlin, they did a nice little editorial piece that was so beautiful of her trash talking, and it was just wonderful, and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
Again, my problem is not the trash talking.
Yeah, and then that's what I'm saying. Like nobody has a problem with the trash talking. It's just the trash talking went overboard.
I'm talking about everything that led up to that very point. They put that girl up on a pedestal. I mean, what did LSU have? They had to fight for their honor. Hey, y'all done sit here and put this girl up on a pedestal. Y'all done already declared them the winner and everything. I mean, dog. I mean, I can't fault her for what she did. She should have did more. Because y'all had them beat before the game even started. Okay, they had to come in there with a chip on their shoulder.
Caitlin Clark.
Come on now, y'all. That's wrong.
You have the right to do what you want to do because you're perceived disrespect.
Yeah, Caitlin Clark just won the Wooden Award. Like, that's the reason why she was on a pedestal. Because the other girl, from Louisville, who was a white girl, they ain't talk about her in the same aspect as they did Caitlin Clark. And believe me, I don't think Angel Reese talks as much noise as the girl from Louisville. I think that is the number one shit talker in college basketball. That's just me.
Did I just
and I'm
being
so honest with that. Like, if you watch her, like, she talks cash, money, shit. That is somebody that if I seen them on the court and they were talking shit like that to me, I would probably want to fight. I'm just being honest. They didn't cover her the same way they covered Caitlin Clark, because Caitlin Clark literally is the best player in college basketball right now.
Did I just say, you're saying the same thing I just said? They done sit here and put that child up on a pedestal. Everything is peaches and cream about her, but this other child, they done sit here and down her all the way down to her drawers and bras and stuff. That woman had to come in there with a chip on her shoulder. Y'all already got her beat.
She earned that pedestal. She earned it. She the best. You the best. They gonna put you on the pedestal.
When is the ring ceremony? Since she the best, so I can make sure to watch it. What time is the ring ceremony?
When you put on 30
No. Because see, the best got some rings. So when is that ring? When is that ring ceremony?
You see the best player.
The best player.
She won all the rings.
I ain't got.
The best player.
At the end of the day, it's the double zeros. Who won? Who got the dub? It's the double zeros.
That's the team. That's the team. We talking about players.
Ain't no I in team. It ain't no one person in a team. See, that's what got Caitlin in the situation she in that last game when she played against South Carolina. She was the one that beat South Carolina. So you thought you were gonna be the same one to beat LSU? See, listen to what y'all saying. That's what got her in the situation she in right now.
It's not like they just locked her up. So.
Yeah, and really, because look, I don't like Angel Reese. Angel Reese, like when I see her hoop, she looked like a hooper from the girls from my city. Like the girls who really hoop with their brothers, that's exactly what she looks like. And I recognize it, and I'm cool with that. Even with the bravado and the shit talking, I'm okay with that. Yeah. That's the reason why I wanted LSU to win.
Agree. I got no issue with that.
Yeah.
But see, I'm not talking about their skills. You can't take their skills from them. Yes, both of them are good. What got them in the situation that they're in now? Y'all put one on a pedestal and you dog the other one. And when you dog somebody, I got a chip on my shoulder. I got to prove myself. Yes, Caitlin might be the best at what she is. Just like Tom Brady is the best at what he is. But when you got to that championship, evidently your best must have stayed at home because y'all didn't win.
Or you got the worst
team.
She
was on 30. I'm like they like those.
How you gonna have the best team all the way to the final game and then all of a sudden call them back? Come on.
Happens because it's a matchup situation. So if you got the wrong,
bro, they beat South Carolina, bro. They were good. They beat South Carolina. She dropped 40.
But we talking about from a matchup standpoint. Yeah.
South Carolina is the best team in college basketball by far.
South Carolina ain't got the shooters that LSU got.
South Carolina beat LSU by 30 this year.
Are you listening to yourself?
I said South Carolina that have the shooters LSU got.
LSU ain't got no shooters. If you ask me, they just came through at a clutch.
That's what shooters do.
I ain't watched the game, so I just watched little highlights. So
That point guard
Jasmine hit 7 threes.
The point guard was killing.
What did she do the game before then? What she do the game? She hit 7 threes in this game. What she do the last couple of games?
All right, well, I think we're getting lost in the conversation. Hold on, I think we're getting lost in the conversation because I don't know where the hell it's going right now.
Right.
We all over the place.
Let me say this.
Mm-hmm.
Caitlin Clark was on the pedal, so I think we all agree with that. But there's a reason why. That's what we're saying. Like ever since she's came in, this girl was like she's AP All-American her freshman year. That don't really like she put up 26 her freshman year, 27 the next year, 27 this year. Like this is like she was on that pedestal for a reason. Now, when it comes to Angel Reese, I think the bad light from a lot of the media aspect is they're not used to seeing a woman talk shit in the way that Angel Reese does. And
but you said the girl Louisville does it worse than her though. Huh? But you said the girl Louisville does it worse than her though.
Yeah, this year. That's what I'm saying.
What are we saying ultimately though?
This year, but they ain't covered. Well, the girl from Louisville ain't as good as Angel Reese.
You keep trying to dance around the fact that they ain't covered. They covered who they wanted to cover,
but
and they put that girl in the spotlight.
They covered white girl.
They definitely covered Angel Reese. I'm trying to follow
the logic home.
They definitely covered Angel Reese, and I definitely.
No, they don't cover Haley from Louisville like that.
I'm trying to follow the logic home because Angel. All I know is Angel Reese. When I first saw her, because she was Bayou Barbie, I was like, oh yeah, that's a beautiful woman.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I got to know her. So this woman from Louisville, I have no clue who you're talking about. But you said that they've been, she's worse than Angel Reese as far as her mouth.
In my opinion.
Oh, hell yeah.
I'm deferring to you, bro. I'm not trying to undermine you. But I'm just saying, so I'm trying to follow the logic home. So you said that
I'm saying come on, the girl from Louisville, she's a white girl also.
Yep.
Yeah, I said that.
So
you talking about Haley Van Lith?
Yeah, Haley Van
Lith. She way worse.
They don't talk about her in the same, and that's why I say I kind of agree with the lady that's on now and what she's saying. Like, hey, they didn't cover Angel Reese the same way. They didn't talk about her.
I don't know. Huh? So what do you want? Like, because you saying that they're giving Caitlin too much coverage.
No.
The other chick's not getting none.
I said that they put Caitlin on the pedestal because she's damn good. That's the reason why she's there.
No, I'm not talking about you,
Tony.
You laid that out. I'm talking about what Miss Diva was saying about that they want to accentuate who they want to. But I'm saying, but by that same logic, why is that other chick, Van Fleet, whatever you said her name was, why is she not getting nothing? She's worse than Reese. As far as
I'm asking you that. Why not?
Yeah,
I'm talking about these. But I'm talking about these.
She might get more coverage than Angel Reese.
Do you have children? Do you have any children?
Nope.
Okay, say if you had some twins, set of twins, both of them do the same thing, but you favor one of them twins more than you favor the other one. Or it might not tell you ain't gotta have twins, just have 2 kids. If you favor that one more than that other one is gonna have resentment. And when it come time, that the one that's not the favorite gonna go after the one that's favored. They favored that damn girl. I'm not saying nothing about her skills because she can hoop. Both of them can hoop. But you put one in a good light, you put one in a dark light. What do you expect? The one in the dark light is going to come with a chip on her shoulder. Y'all can talk about skills, you can talk about this, that, and the other, but at the end of the day, they put that damn white girl up on the pedestal, and they put that damn black girl down in the dirt, and them kids came out there with a chip on their shoulder to let them know, hey, we can ball too.
I didn't see you in the dirt. I didn't.
Me neither.
I saw her being beautiful. That's how I got to know her because
you saw her being beautiful, but how did the media portray her? How was Twitter portraying her?
The media, Miss Diva, introduced me to Bayou Barbie. I mean, oh yeah.
That's what I'm saying. How she was portrayed. I know
her as a person who don't care. I don't care
at all. Light, though. That's positive.
Yeah, I got to know her off a positive light. That's how me personally.
You did, but you don't know how that affected her psyche. For that girl to sit here and say, I done say every tweet, that lets you know that kind of bothers her.
Okay, I'm gonna give you an example, Miss Dave. I'm gonna give you an example. When I played ball overseas in Germany, most of the media coverage I got for me leaving Portugal and playing for my agent on the same team he was on, was like, oh man, they got a kid coming in from Portugal, man. He's killing. There's this one article on shoeanddunk.com, SCHOENDUNK.com, was talking about me that I was a reject from Portugal, and that's why they brought me on the team, because this is the only team that would take me. And we played against I forget the name of the team, but it's a cat named Hotman, Hottmann. It's a German name, but they was like, oh, Hotman's going to destroy Franks and blah 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 blah. So the one article was saying some bogus shit about me, but everything else was about me was positive. So I took it personal. To your point, I took it very personal, and I bust that motherfucker ass. And
it's not reality.
It's only reality to me because I took that one negative thing and I made it my thing. But the other stuff that was positive on Eurobasket.com, which is the bigger publication, they spoke positively of me. But I took that one thing and I made it my thing. So maybe I'm just opening the fact that maybe some of that in that minutia that is that situation.
That woman says she has over 1,200 tweets screenshotted. Who in the world does that? You can't tell me that didn't mess with that. You can't tell me all season long she wasn't going back looking. You ain't good. Your hair this, your nails that.
So how many positive ones did she tweet out?
Exactly.
So if it's
10,000, I'm just going by what she said. I mean,
what we talking?
I'm going by what Reese said. She got over 1,200.
You gonna focus on negative because that drives you. I understand that.
But see, that's why I said we don't know what her psyche mental was when I went back and
I'm not gonna just go with her just off rip. I gotta see the whole thing. That's all I'm saying, Miss Beaver.
I'm just repeating what she said. Hell, go. As a matter of fact, my opinion, it might just be my eye. Look at when they were lined up walking out. Whenever they did the starting lineup. I sit there and look at them girls when they walking out. I'm like, these motherfuckers coming. They coming with a vengeance. That last one, that girl looked like Incredible Hulk getting up off that damn bitch. I'm like, she finna go out here and foul or get kicked out the way she was looking. They came out there with a vengeance to play hard. Mm-hmm. Or maybe that's just what maybe I'm seeing something different. I'm sorry.
I'm not refuting that. No, I like you to speak your perspective because it's different from mine, and that's okay. What I'm saying is perception is one thing from an individual, but perception from the totality standpoint is another thing. And I don't take a 20-year-old at their word. A 20-year-old sees things how they want to see things. Mm-hmm. Having been a coach at the collegiate level at Prairie View, 20-year-olds see things the way they want to see it. So, and then we're talking about Twitter, which is like microwave culture, where it's like the numbers get ramped up, but do you talk about, oh man, there's too many people saying I'm good, I'm beautiful. So it's like, what's the balance is what I question. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I'm not. I mean, not to be disrespectful to nobody up here. I'm just like I said. I did this just.
Oh, you good.
Coming from where I live, I put it like this. Where I live at, they specifically. I want to say promote. They specifically put the white sports up on the pedestal, and put the other sports down. Volleyball, softball, but yet still it's your basketball team that's winning the championship and putting the school on the map.
We talking high school, college?
High school. I work high school.
All right, I accept it. All right.
And that's what when I see them too. I'm just talking about this particular situation. Nothing against Caitlin's skills. Nothing against Reese's skills, because both of them are good players. Them putting that child up on the pedestal and them sitting here down in this other child, in my opinion, got all of this mess going. And this is racial. It ain't nothing. I can't see past. This is just a racial situation. Because if the tables had been turned, none of this would be going on.
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna put this one last little comment, and this was kind of more akin to the original conversation, but I appreciate where it's gone. Everybody has their opinion, they have their take, and then that's what makes good dialogue. No problem. One thing I will say is, again, me not following the NCAA finals like that for women whatsoever. I did see in Hoop Jargon, the Facebook group, certain people who you would say more pro-black, they were very much incensed by it. Like, okay, let me step back and just look. Just so I know what's going on, just so I'm not guessing. So I remember going to ESPN's website. Their Instagram page. And then they showed pictures. They flooded the timeline with Caitlin and with Angel. Like it was just this and that. It was flooded with that throughout the duration of the game. I remember seeing black folks commenting on the post, huh? Yeah, I saw black folks commenting on the post that had Caitlyn. Oh, this is so disrespectful. Y'all not showing Angel. And if you go look down the mother freaking timeline, Angel is getting accentuated. And they also had a post saying same energy. So to the point of what everybody's saying that Caitlyn was doing that, ESPN had a side-by-side video of both of them doing it. But they were saying, oh, it just shows your racism and disrespect. So ultimately what I'm saying is there may be a lack of scope of perception. Whereas if you actually look at the stuff take your emotionality out. Anything I look at, okay, I always look at it this way. How do I feel about it first? Okay, you felt that way. Now go a level beyond your feelings. What's actually factually correct? And I try to go a different direction. And then okay, now I have a full informed opinion. What I see is in this culture, going back to the Twitter comment that you were saying with old girl, is a lot of people just want that microwave response. They just want the first thing they think put out without doing no further research. So I just question, even though she said it, did you really look at what people are putting out? Because I looked on ESPN and they gave Angel a whole bunch of credit. So when I saw, I'm not holding her to that standard. She take it how she take it. But I saw people literally in the comment section, oh, ESPN, your racism is showing. You not, why y'all talking about Iowa? When you look down the actual timeline before that actual picture, there were about 4 LSU posts in a row. That means you're not doing your due diligence. You're just talking. And so I have a little disdain for people who just talk. Let me put that.
May I ask FYI Sports a question? Is he still on here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. And please let me know if I'm wrong. Because I didn't follow everything, but I follow the vast majority of it. Or maybe I just wasn't looking in the right spots. When I would see information about the Caitlyn little girl, I always read about her skills. When I read up on the little Reese little girl, I always heard something. I caught a video. It was about her wig or about her lashes. I didn't hear too much about her damn skills. Now, am I wrong? Or did I miss something? Because I didn't hear too much about Reese's skills. I heard a whole lot about a wig.
So I think when it comes to Angel Reese, it's kind of two-sided because it's kind of where if you seek in a certain angle, you're gonna find it. I think ESPN, I got to be honest, they did a good job of talking about her skill. They could have done more, obviously, but there's obviously a skill gap. Caitlyn is just more skilled than Angel Reese. If you're just going off pure basketball, there's more to talk about with Caitlyn than there is with Angel. Angel's more the hard nose, grab the rebounds, put back layups, get in train. Like her game is more simplified, so there's less with sports to talk about with Angel, even though she's good. After you're talking pure basketball, we could sit down there and chop up Caitlyn's game all day. As far as how elite she is, we can really dive into that because she has the ball more. She's working off pick and rolls. She's working off full court passes, half court passes. So it's a little different there. So I want to be fair. I think Angel did a good job of promoting herself.
Agreed.
She's all over social media. ESPN promoted what they should have to get her out there. And then on the flip side, if we're looking at the Caitlyn girl, it's going to be much harder to promote her beauty, right? I mean, if we're being honest.
Plain Jane.
Right? So you have to promote the basketball with her because, promoting her to men ain't going to, you can't promote her to men.
Wait a minute. Hold on. I just didn't hear you say that. I just know I didn't hear you say that.
Say what?
Wait a minute. So we're gonna promote Caitlyn on her skills, and we're gonna promote Reese on her beauty.
Yes, that's
because
marketing.
Reese don't have that much skill.
That's marketing.
And Caitlyn don't have beauty.
No. Hold on. It's easier to sell Angel Reese to men on beauty, but you cannot sell. You cannot sell Caitlyn to men on beauty.
Absolutely not.
Like if you try to tell us she's the queen of Iowa and you putting a crown on her head,
absolutely not.
You know what I'm saying? Like we like, nah, I ain't going for that one. But if you show her that she,
Didn't this like
But if you
reverse
could
all the
show
way
us that
back
she
to
can
the
shoot like
comments?
Steph Curry, we're gonna be interested.
Absolutely.
But doesn't this like make a full circle back all the way around to that comment that he put up about this is sexist?
No, I mean, it's marketing.
Yeah, there's an element of sexism in
Marketing
marketing.
is sexist.
Yeah.
Sex
It
sells.
appeals to people's emotions. They appeal to people's things that they observe things to be. Yeah, that's what marketing is. That's why marketing promotes more to women when spending money, because that's what women do. Generally,
I know that. So next time, when is the NBA playoffs? Because I'm gonna need one of them come out there and play in a jock strap with no shorts. Because I need them to sell themselves to me now. I need some sexism or something now, since we selling the women. Now, just listen to what you just said. That just is horrible.
Hey, hold on, but who? Am I being real, Hoop, with that?
Go ahead, bro.
Am I being real? Like ESPN they're gonna push Angel Reese's sexuality because it's gonna sell the men better. And with Caitlyn, they're gonna push her Steph Curry like shooting because that's gonna sell the men better. You still promote both, but you cannot sell us on Caitlyn's beauty because we all know she ain't beautiful.
Yeah.
Right? Angel, the first thing we see with Angel is that she pretty as hell. That's the first thing you can't hide it.
Absolutely.
So you
But
sell
we
us on
talking
that
about
first.
basketball. But you can't have it both ways. Y'all splitting hairs.
I
Now,
know.
we gonna talk about basketball.
I know, but you're
It's
talking
like
about selling it to a male fan
I got you,
base.
Lamont. I got you, Lamont. It's like that's why you sold AI as like the thug guy, because that related with the hip hop culture. It wasn't necessarily his game, which his game was tight. I mean, I'm not an AI fan. Sammy know that. I've never been a fan, but I'm not going to acknowledge that dude couldn't play. So yeah, it was part of the crossover, but it's part of him being a slash rapper. He come with the do-rags. He keeping it real. So yeah, you play up those other things that attract other people to be interested.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all know what? I'm gonna go back to band because we ain't got this much issue. You know, the only issue we got is Southern being the best band and everybody else because this is ridiculous. Hell, it was women that was watching basketball. I'm pretty sure it was more women watching basketball than it was men. And
I doubt it.
Y'all, I guess that's what I was like. Y'all help me because I couldn't understand this, but now I'm kind of understanding because I'm like, taunting. You hear me say taunting is taunting. What is the issue? And they both did the same thing. Okay. Y'all making me see a little different.
It's
Thank
levels,
y'all.
Miss Diva. That's it. It's just levels. Yeah. I mean, I'm not trying to dismiss your perspective because your perspective is valid in the grand scheme of things. I just kind of letting it, I guess, be told.
When it comes to all of this, and like I said, maybe I'm a woman, and maybe I'm seeing it different. Because I mean, like I said, I have kids in every sport it is out here. Like I said, my baby's in band. They fight who played the best tenor and snare drum and all the rest of that mess. Shit, I mean, but it's like I'm old school. Hell, where we grew up playing the dozens and all the rest of that stuff. So the taunting, I didn't see that as bad. I'm like, okay, they playing with emotions. What's the issue? How she's classes? What? She won. I mean, ain't that what you do? I mean, I thought I'm looking for the bucket to pour the Gatorade over your head. I'm like, why are these folks so sensitive? But a man can get out here and do it, and there's no issue.
Miss Diva, have you ever seen Drumline?
So many times. My child is a drummer. My child is a drummer. So many times.
So you talking about taunting is taunting. Do you remember what happened when Nick Cannon played his sticks on that other man's drum?
Yep. Didn't you hear me say earlier that I think band is the worst sport out there because them some fighters.
No, I'm just showing you what happens when you go too far. You see, or what could happen when you go too far. You see what I'm saying?
I know that, but I'm saying, and this, I'm just speaking on this incident. All this classless, and I mean, I'm not saying me. Like I said, you can't hit me and then tell me how I get my lick back. Like I said, you can pinch me and I bust you upside the head with a bat. I got my lick back. But I mean, I can understand. By y'all being coaches and by y'all being males, I can understand where y'all are saying, well, some taunting is too much taunting. I can see it. Do I agree with it? No, because just because she taunted 15 seconds longer than the other one, if you don't want, hey, don't dish it if you can't take it. But I mean, this is part. Is that not part? Didn't they just have a WWE wrestling match? Folks busting each other upside the head with folding chairs Sunday, and we sitting here arguing about these folks taunting. I'm like, make it make
It's
sense.
fake though. It's fake.
Yeah.
That ain't fake. Hey, I was raised with Jerry Lawler. That stuff was real. And Jimmy Valiant, that's real.
Nah.
Hey, who? I gotta go, man. It's Tony D. I gotta go. Hey,
All
good
right, Tony.
chatting with y'all, man. I'll catch you on the flip side, bro.
Man, appreciate you, bro.
Appreciate it, bro.
Being a part of the panel, bro.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So with that being said, we can flip it back to Chris. I know you ain't spoken in a minute, bro. What you got, man?
I think he logged off. He said he needed to get the link or something like that. It was one of
Yeah,
those.
he back on the
I'm
panel.
about to go to the gym a little bit.
No, there you go.
I'm about to
what
go
you
to the
got?
gym a little bit. Nah, I ain't got nothing else right now.
Okay, yeah, man, you just stick around. All right, so I mean, ultimately, listen, man. I respect the conversation because we got to get multiple views upon the stuff to kind of come to a consensus to know, okay, what's actually what. Now I know it from a coach's and a former player's perspective, but you know, I'm not the ultimate fan like that. Like I don't put my fanness over everything, but in some perspective, that's all you know, and that's okay. So I like Lamont's point when you talk about a player accentuated because skill level, because like I was saying, like Caitlin's just a way better player. Like it's not even close. But you broke it down specifically how they're different and how they're marketed, because again, you have to appeal to what's palatable to people. You're not gonna tell me that Caitlin is gonna be the sex throb of the WNBA. I'm looking at her; she look like goddamn, Mary Poppins, right?
Patty
You know what I'm saying?
Mayonnaise.
Like, it don't make sense. It don't make sense. And again, she's an open lesbian. She has a girlfriend, whatever. Her life, her choice. But it's like that doesn't appeal to the male audience. But when you say, "Oh, she can shoot that thing from Steph Curry range," like, "Oh shit, let me see." Because if you tell me anything else, I'm not looking at Caitlin like there's nothing to look at her about. It's like somebody working at Whole Foods, right?
This is a shame. This ain't even about sports no more. This is sexism. I need to get my ass off this panel with y'all sexist men.
Don't do that.
This is horrible. I thought y'all was talking about the flagrant foul and the no class and all this, and y'all talking about women being sexy.
No, Miss Diva, we're diverting because the conversation. I led in with that. I was like, okay, the conversation kind of diverted, but we are where we are. So I'm just saying that marketability wise, you gotta advertise a certain product a certain way, and you market LeBron James on being this physical specimen that nobody else can touch, and he's this great Goliath, right? You don't market him on his great, his insights, like Kyrie Irving is, like how he's so erudite, and because LeBron James is not, but you sell him on the fact that he's a specimen of an athlete and he's the greatest in all categories. That's how you market LeBron James. You don't say, "Oh, this guy just the smartest dude in the room. He's just gonna, everybody's just gonna ogle over how intelligent he is." That's not the case with LeBron. So that's all I'm saying.
Y'all, for the last couple of days, and then I'm gonna get off here because my baby's sitting. For the last couple of days, because I'll be done with this bachelor's in a minute, and I've been sitting here trying to figure out what the hell I'm gonna get this master's in. Y'all finna make me get my master's in sports because I just I didn't know that is how sports work. It's not off of your talents; it's off of how we can make money off of you and how marketable you are.
Oh, yes. That's why Prime left, Miss Diva. That's why Prime left.
Hey, that's why all these schools is going after Bronny James.
Well, okay, wait a minute. Why TY? Well, maybe one of y'all can answer. Was this because lately I've been hearing about Bird versus Magic? Was that them being marketable back then, or was it them and their skills back then?
I'll let FYF defer. Yeah, absolutely.
Because I've been hearing and seeing it's their skills. I haven't seen or heard anything about no marketing.
No, they were skilled, but they
if we don't watch it, don't matter.
But they did use the black guy versus the white guy mantra to market that narrative. The
Lakers versus Celtics.
The big team versus the small school. Like they marketed the hell out of that. And then the NBA did a good job of saying, you know what, we're gonna keep it going in the NBA. So the NBA looked over the fact that the Boston Celtics bent the rules to draft Larry Bird. Right. And they looked over the fact that the Lakers finessed the rules to trade for all them draft picks from the Cleveland Cavaliers just to get Magic. So, I mean, sometimes so there's exceptions to be made. The NBA was smart to let it happen. Yeah. They saved basketball.
If you say Lakers versus Celtics, people gonna watch.
Well, even to this day, even if both the teams are not doing so well, just because of how impactful Bird versus Magic was. Yeah, that is true.
And it's the finals. Oh, yeah. If you're able to field day.
Just imagine if that's what happens this year, since the Lakers are surging and the Celtics probably gonna be there. It's gonna be something. So
they're gonna count them dollars. And that's what the WNBA needs.
It's possible. That's the crazy thing. It's possible.
It is, and it wasn't 2 months ago. It was out of the realm of possibility.
But I've been trying to work this out in my brain because it's hard for me to not look at these games without looking at it like a coach. It just, no matter what the Lakers record is, I do not want to be a coach that has to game plan against LeBron James and Anthony.
Right. I wouldn't either. You just that's just a headache
it's just
for
like,
anybody.
How? Like imagine Mike Brown, because it's looking like it might be the Kings. I just feel bad for Mike Brown. They didn't have such a great year, and now you got to figure out LeBron James in the first round of the playoffs. Like, oh man, like that's what's people keep. But this is where, before I go, this is where they're creating a monster. All the people that hate on LeBron, they was so down on him. If they have any level of success in the playoffs with this team, is just going to add to the argument that he could potentially be the GOAT. I don't say he's the GOAT, but all the hate saying that the team was trash. And if he's able to lead this team to any type of success, and God forbid they win a championship, man.
I don't know, bro. I think that he's, well, first, it's about narratives, right? He's leading this team, but the team that they said was trash was a totally different team before they made all these trades. And he's not even leading this team. AD is surging the lead on this. You know what I'm saying? Like he's the lead right now. And rightfully so, because he's the one that they need to go through, and LeBron is being LeBron. So with that tandem, it makes for a very interesting product, and the pieces around them, they become a good team. But before they weren't. So it's not the same team that people was hating on, and people they conveniently forget that. It's like, see, LeBron, he the GOAT because he took that team they wasn't nothing in the beginning, and then he took them to the finals. But it's a different team. It's not the same team, and that's why they could potentially go to the finals. And it kills me when people they conveniently forget that at the beginning it wasn't the same team, and they forget that it's not LeBron that's leading this team the way it's going right now. It's AD, but he's obviously going to get that natural role because he is LeBron. But if you look at the games, if you're watching the games, it's AD. And that's why they doing what they doing. And with LeBron, you can't take nothing away from LeBron. But I'm just saying, like,
no, he's still leading that team.
No, I agree. But here's the problem. I agree that this Laker team's success is all tangent on AD being healthy. But the problem is when they start losing, all the haters will run and just blame LeBron. They won't say that it's because AD and this team is injured. So on the flip side, when this team does turn the corner and they start having success, all the LeBron fans, as opposed to giving that credit to AD, they gonna just flip the argument and say they gonna give all the credit to LeBron. So it's just, you're gonna have this weird back and forth with the haters and the fans, and it's gonna be
neither should get all the credit.
It's gonna be tilted. It's always gonna be tilted.
I can't stand that all the credit BS, because neither should get all the credit.
But they look tough with D'Angelo Russell. They look tough. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie.
Thank you.
They are good.
May I ask a question right quick?
They look
but
tough.
Then also go to Anthony Davis first. That's how they gonna win.
Answer the question right quick before I go.
Go ahead.
Okay, and this is not. I don't mean to change subject, but I do want to know this. Okay, y'all was speaking on the market aspect and what sales to me. So I have, I guess, 3 questions in one. How profitable, or what would be the end effect if they have at the beginning of the season, they bring Iowa back versus LSU, if they brought the two teams that was in the Super Bowl back versus each other, and if they brought Colorado Buffaloes to come in to play Jackson State. Now, how would those three be I guess marketable, profitable for whoever runs it for the teams, and how would it be profitable, if it would be profitable for the students, the student athletes, and that's it.
I like that.
Colorado has no reason to play Jackson State.
Agreed.
No, yes they do. Yes they do, because if Deion is smart, he would make that happen, because then he could help Jackson State do what he's been preaching the whole time. When they go travel to these big schools to just get blown out, make sure they paying you your just due, because a lot of that money goes right back into the Jackson State football program, allows them to fund a whole bunch of different things. So you want to encourage these matchups, but he can then use that as an opportunity to be one of the first schools to pay an HBCU their just due for coming out and playing.
True. He also said don't take the game though, so there's that.
I think he would take it.
He said don't take the game unless it's completely beneficial for you, like you just laid out. So I just don't see it happening because their schedule's already laced out. I'm sure for
their schedule's already laced out, but I mean they can't add it. But I think he would if he had the opportunity. I think he would play Jackson State.
Yeah, sure. So from a logistical standpoint, I just don't see the relevance or the point. But if we're talking fantasy land, the nostalgia factor, that's going to draw interest for sure. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Now, all right, so the second talking point.
Now, Iowa.
Before I go,
LSU, that's going to draw 12 million viewers. It's going to be record set. Them two playing next year.
Who that?
Because Iowa versus LSU in basketball.
Hell yeah. Yeah, they got to make.
They're gonna say all kinds of records. So if I'm NCAA, I'm open praying they see each other in the tournament.
No, what they're gonna do is they're gonna create one of them early season tournaments and invite Iowa and LSU, like over in the Bahamas or something like that. Them early. That'd be the smart move, because then it'll get people locked in early. If you do that. But hey, Hoop, before I go, in the matchup I want to hope, keep Angel Reese at LSU. Don't let her go to the WNBA. And they got to play Texas, man. Just get Sydney Carter coaching, Angel Reese playing.
The ultimate eye candy.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Hey, man,
and look at how they market Sydney Carter. They don't talk about her coaching, even though they're a good team.
Sydney Carter is a baddie.
They don't talk. Boy.
I'm good with that.
I wouldn't mind being.
I need to be a grad assistant. I'm about to get a grad assistant position over there.
I'll be a janitor.
I wouldn't mind being a coach's husband with Sydney Carter.
Be the ball boy.
You say, Chris?
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind being a coach's husband with Sydney Carter.
Hey man, it be like that sometimes.
She bad, bro.
I gotta hit the work in a little bit, so man, we're gonna land a plane on the show a little bit. So I appreciate the dialogue, I appreciate the conversation, because in my opinion, need to be had. Again, we're not all gonna agree on everything. That's fine, but you lay out your thesis and you let your opinion be known, and that's just what it is. Like so and I appreciate you, Chris, for pulling up on us. Appreciate you, Lamont, for pulling up, and Sammy. We just gonna put this on our other channel. We talk about like men's topics, but I want to put it on the bigger channel. So hopefully that'll generate more eyes onto it. It goes the opposite sometimes, most times. On our small channel, we got like 330 followers, and we'll do the same topic, and it'll do more views over there. But for the most part, it does views over here. So appreciate y'all. But any parting words on the topic, man, or anything related?
Hey, the NCAA don't change nothing, man. If you're trying to make money, don't touch nothing, man. Let them do them. And they deals for any single player in college sports. So she has a formula that other players are going to follow. So I don't think it's going to go away. What we're seeing out of her is only going to encourage more especially women to do the same thing, because it's just bringing in too much money. So, you know, it is what it is, man. We just got to get used to it.
And that may be 100% right. I know the market usually self-corrects, so I doubt they let that ride. But we'll see. We definitely will see, because it definitely has sparked interest where interest was not currently there. I think we all can agree to that.
All right.
Chris, you got anything for us, bro?
Nah, I'm good.
I appreciate you, bro.
Great talking to y'all, though.
Yeah, man. Absolutely, bro. Appreciate you having me, man. I'm going to drop you down. Appreciate you, bro. Sammy, anything you got for the audience as we
somebody mentioned earlier that they was like, so you stopped liking, well, you wanted them to lose because whatever Angel Reese did. I don't know who made that comment, but no, I didn't want them to lose because of that, and that's not what happened. I still wanted them to win. I just told my son in real time, I was like, man, I can't like her as much anymore because of what she's doing. That was silly shit to me, and I don't condone silly shit. So I couldn't like her as much as I wanted to anymore, but I didn't want them to lose. I still wanted her to prosper and win, and I'm glad they won, and I'm I'm glad they got to experience that. That's life-changing, once in a lifetime type things, that a lot of people don't get to experience. So I've never been a hater. I'm not gonna hate. I want to see her successful, but I just want to call it like it is. I want people to hold people to a certain standard. I want people to be accountable for their actions, and I don't want us to justify bullshit ever. You know what I'm saying? There is no way to justify it. So that's why I couldn't like her as much, but I understand she's a 20-year-old kid and they gonna make mistakes, and that's fine. I'm not tripping on that. I just think that the adults, us people that can have kids her age or do have kids her age, we have to be more responsible with how we react to it and what we saying about it, because that's how, if we know it consciously or subconsciously, that's what we teaching our kids. You see what I'm saying? Like, if we saying it's okay for her to do it, if our kids do it and we see it, we gonna okay that, and it's just not okay. Like, we don't care about the trash talk that's in the game. Whatever. It's just when she went too far, and that's been my whole point. When it's too far, it's too far, and you got to understand what come with that. So I think that's what we're dealing with. But as far as everything else, we appreciate y'all, man. It's been probably one of the longest streams I ever been on with Cliff, period. And it's been pretty much productive. It was good to hear everybody's perspectives. A lot of y'all funny, but it still was good to hear. And I appreciate it. So we appreciate y'all coming on. Y'all make sure y'all go subscribe to the Wise Guys channel if you haven't done that yet. We appreciate it.
Yeah, let me put the link back in the chat for the Wise Guys. We talk about issues like from social dynamic and things of that nature. So I just elected to put this on the YouTube side for Hoop Jargon because it's more sports related. So I put this us right here. Y'all can check our catalog out of what we do over there, which is definitely a lot more hard hitting. I know I was cussing more than normal day, but I got a little passion about it, but it is what it is.
You don't be cussing over here?
Not as much. No.
Oh, okay.
Today I was letting it rain. Jeannie Alley says, great chat. Joy Rich today. And appreciate you, Jeannie Alley. So again, man, one thing we appreciate over here is pushback. As long as you're making sense. And if you're just saying stuff just to be going counter, then I'm going to challenge your logic. This is what I do. I'm unapologetic about it. I won't ever not do that because what you say just has to make sense to me. That's pretty much the meat and potatoes about it. But yeah, so you guys follow us, the Wise Guys channel. We are coming at 330 subscribers, so we're trying to get that number up for sure. And that's all we got, man. So y'all hit the like button on the way out if you are new in here. Please subscribe if you're new and run it back. We got a great thread of just different ideas and perspectives, respectful conversation. So that's what we do over here at Hoop Jargon, man. So appreciate y'all being a part of this. Lonzo coming great, man. Chill out, man. Get out of there. But at any rate, that's all I got. Anything you got for the people before we peace out?
Nah, just really appreciate y'all rocking with us. And again, do the things that matter. Hit that like button. Comment. Y'all been commenting. We appreciate that. I hate that we didn't get to a lot of those comments. I was reading them, and it's things that we should address. But we had a lot of people who wanted to give them the space to talk if we brought them on. So sorry we didn't get to all the comments, but I think I'll go back through the thread and just kind of address them if they there. I don't know if you can see them, but if I can see them, I'll go in and comment on them and address them, and we can talk through there because we appreciate that. So appreciate y'all rocking with us, and yeah, we'll see y'all next time.
Absolutely. Much appreciated. Appreciate 47. I see you pulled up at the end. Thank you, sir, for being a part of the stream. And with that being said, like Coach Prime say, play my